Chapter 1251, Nightmare Fog. After returning to the shelter, Levi continued to cultivate. The ups and downs of Io continent had nothing to do with him. He only needed to pay attention to the projection occasionally and pay attention to Anya that kid's situation. Year 1196 of the Holy Brilliance calendar, the month of winter. Dragon Palace Island. In Levi's secluded cultivation area, endless black mist surged out of his body. The fog exuded a mysterious, unknown, and terrifying aura. Within it, a black dreamy dragon could be vaguely seen circling, like the ruler of the fog. On this day, the Nightmare Dragon's breathing technique finally reached level 15, the first transformation of the blood source realm. The black mist that lingered around Levi and the Nightmare Black Dragon in the mist was his bloodline Dharma idol. Levi immersed himself in it and carefully sensed the functions of the bloodline Dharma idol. He could feel that the accuracy of his nightmare perception had increased further in the fog. He went to the sky above the island, and the dense fog followed him. With a thought, the fog expanded and eventually covered the entire Dragon Palace Island. At the same time, the fog also spread and it continued to thin out. This shouldn't be the limit of the fog's expansion. However, if it continues to expand, the effect of increasing my perception will be greatly weakened. Levi called the three brothers over and had them enter the black mist. "Come find me," said Levi. He stood in a corner of the fog and found that the three brothers were running around like headless flies. They could not find him at all. After a while, they finally found Levi. "Lord Dragon King, after we entered the fog, we couldn't see into the distance. Our senses seemed to have been weakened and we couldn't locate you," said Ganster. "This is just a small trick of mine. You may go back," Levi said calmly. "The Dragon King is mighty." After flattering him, the three brothers left. "This fog is formed by my Nightmare Dragon Dharma idol. It has two functions. Firstly, it could increase my perception abilities. Second, it could weaken the enemy's perception. Most dragons have weak senses, so they will be blinded by the mist the moment they enter. Wizards have stronger senses, but they are completely passive in the fog domain. Their spiritual perception will also be limited to a very small area. Once they are enveloped by my fog, it will be a one-sided massacre." Levi realized that most of the skills related to the Nightmare Dragon were of the domain type. He named it Nightmare Fog. Of course, there was a price to pay for the Nightmare Fog's powerful ability. The larger Levi's fog domain was, the faster the Nightmare Dragon's power was consumed. He could only last for a few minutes when the area covered the entire island. Therefore, in battle, it was best to think of a way to close the distance. The best way to use it would be in a small area with the Nightmare Fog cast in a high concentration, and then activate the hunting mode. Levi looked inside his body. Golden Snake, Crimson Emperor, Sky, Scarlet, and besides the Death Ember Divine Palace, the sixth Divine Palace had already risen from the ground. This Divine Palace was wrapped in black fog, making it unfathomable and mysterious. On the plaque of the Divine Palace was the word Nightmare. Within the Nightmare Divine Palace, within the endless black fog, the Black Dragon was hidden like a god. Today, the 6 great divine weapons and the 6 divine palaces have all been completed. Next, I look forward to the Golden Snake breathing technique advancing to level 7 and reaching the 5th transformation of the Blood Source realm. Levi opened his proficiency panel. Levi. Nightmare Dragon breathing technique, level 15, 1/700,000. Special effects, Nightmare Perception, level 7, Danger Perception, Nightmare Lord, Heavenly Wind Heart. Bloodline Dharma Idol, Nightmare Fog. Exclusive Weapon, Nightmare Helmet, Level 2, The Nightmare Dragon breathing technique is now equivalent to a level 4 in the Night Realm. I wonder if the Lord level of my Nightmare World has increased. Thinking of this, Levi entered the Nightmare World and transformed into a ferocious little black dragon. His body was much bigger than before. His wingspan was more than 20 meters, his body was more slender and well proportioned, his limbs were stronger, his dragon teeth were sharper, and his scales were more dreamy, emitting a colorful black luster. He opened his mouth, and Black Nightmare Dragon's breath shot out, blasting several miles away. As expected, I've already advanced from a little baby dragon to a young dragon. To the powerful Nightmare Dragon, a level 4 dragon could only be considered a dragon whelp, which meant that it had just begun to develop and was not even considered an adult. Levi opened his proficiency panel again. Levi. Nightmare Lord, level 4. Nightmare Territory, Black Dragon Territory. I'm now a level 4 lord. Next, the recovery speed of the mother flesh tree and the speed of producing nightmare creatures will also increase. When I reach level 5, I should have an army of nightmare creatures that has begun to take shape. On the other side, under the flesh mother tree, the faceless infant dragon was lying on the ground. It sensed the arrival of its lord. It opened its eyes and said in a girlish voice, "My lord, you're here. There have been no visitors in the territory recently, right?" asked Levi. "Our latest chapters at Friodnovlo only." "Yes. A traveler from another plane who accidentally entered our territory was eaten by me," said the faceless infant dragon proudly. Levi said, "The next time you encounter such a situation and if you have the strength, you can capture him alive. Wait for me to come back and deal with him. Don't just eat everything." Chapter 1252, Shadow Hell. "Yes, my lord," the faceless infant dragon said softly. "Come, let's do a routine physical examination." Levi took out the big vat. "All right." The faceless infant dragon obediently stretched out its claws. Levi started drawing blood. After filling up the 3 vats, Levi threw some nightmare creature recovery potions he had developed to the faceless infant dragon and left. "His lord is quite nice." After drawing the blood, the infant dragon's heart felt warm. "Every time I draw blood, I can sleep soundly." Feeling drowsy, the faceless infant dragon fell asleep. As a nightmare creature, it could freely control its own dream. However, this time, it realized that its dream was no longer under its control. It stood alone in the chaotic wilderness, looking at the sky. Under the red and black curtains, an immeasurably long dream black dragon traversed the world. Its broken wings spread out, covering the sky and the sun. Behind it was an army of nightmares led by many powerful nightmare lords. Wherever the black dragon passed, the nightmare overlords submitted. "His lord. He's so handsome and mighty." On the other side, Levi, who had returned to the real world, opened his eyes and smiled. "As a qualified nightmare lord, you have to learn to bluff and show your divinity in your dreams." This was his new ability after becoming a level 4 nightmare lord. It had no practical use, but it was convenient to manage his subordinates and create his own persona. Time passed quickly. The path of cultivation was dull and long. After the nightmare dragon broke through, Levi did not forget to study the 5th circle gatekeeper array while he was cultivating. He wanted to set it up on Dragon Palace Island. That way, the island's defensive ability would be even more monstrous. If he went out, he could also provide good protection for the transcendent creatures. The current blueprint of the 7 Kings of Hell array was divided into 7 modules. On Dragon Palace Island, the Rolling Stone Hell was presided over by the Earthquake Dragon, the Inferno Hell was presided over by the Crimson Horned Fire Python, the Windblade Hell was presided over by Sawkins with the help of the wind-chasing green-winged birds, the Dead Sea Hell was presided over by the Dragon Turtle and the Giant Lobster, the Ice Hell was temporarily vacant, the Lightning Hell was presided over by the Wind-Thunder Winged Dragon, and the Blade Mountain Hell was vacant. Next, Levi planned to add one more module to the 7 Kings, which was the Shadow Hell, which would be overseen by Raja's wife, Night Fang. Then, he would rely on his 5th circle array skill to upgrade the entire 7 Kings of Hell. He would use the existing materials to create a new set of protective arrays. The research of the new array did not need him to start all over again. It was just a partial upgrade and adjustment. The materials needed for the 7 Kings array were upgraded or replaced according to the actual situation, and Levi's current materials were replaced. The only troublesome thing was the research on the Shadow Hell. Just like that, a year passed. Year 1197 of the Holy Brilliance calendar, month of the Northern Wind. Dragon Palace Island. Levi's consciousness entered the 5th floor of the Divine Ring Tower. After 2 years of hard work, the 7-colored crystal seemed to have grown a little stronger, but it was hard to notice with the naked eye. He placed his hand on the Klein crystal ball. Spiritual force, 620/1070. Spell power, 62,000. After attaining 5th circle, cultivation is indeed much more difficult than when I was in the 4th circle realm. Fortunately, I have the proficiency panel. At my current speed, if I take the meditation supplementary potion, I'll be able to reach perfection for my 5th circle in about 80 years and prepare my primordial soul. The 5th circle was the last obstacle before the primordial soul. Even a genius would be thwarted here. If it were any other wizard, they might have spent a whole day thinking about it, but in the end, they would have found nothing. Their lives would have been wasted. With the panel, no matter how hard he worked, he would reap benefits. He was improving every day. After completing his meditation homework for the day, Levi continued to head to the weapon refinement room. In the past year, the focus of his work had been to refine new arrays. In the weapon refinement room, Phoenix was breathing fire, providing the conditions for Levi to refine the array items. This was the advantage of having a fire elemental spirit. If it was other wizards, they would either have to find a place with an underground fire or use their own spells to refine it. It would be time-consuming and laborious. To wizards, time was life, and efficiency was money. Therefore, Levi would never give Phoenix to anyone. Phoenix kept the fire burning, and while Levi was cultivating, the one responsible for refining it was naturally the Holy Infant clone. Holy Infant, you should go rest first. I will finish the final work, Levi said to Holy Infant. Holy Infant slowly retreated. After replenishing his spiritual force, he went back to his talisman crafting skill. In the flames in front of Levi, there were 8 long swords of different colors. On the earth and yellow longsword, there was a mountain dragon that looked like an earthquake dragon. It looked up at the sky and roared. On the scarlet sword was a giant flaming dragon that was burning everything in its path. The other swords were the same. These 8 swords were the core of Levi's array. Now, the first 7 swords had been completely condensed. The last long sword emitted a black light. One could vaguely see a shadow dragon eyeing it covetously. Levi sat cross-legged and used his spiritual force to solidify the spell runes on the long sword. He was meticulous and orderly. Several days later, the black long sword had also completely solidified, and the shadow dragon on it was lifelike. It's done. The secondary array items will be much easier. Levi's forehead was covered in sweat, and his spiritual force was exhausted. After cultivating for a few days, he struck while the iron was hot and used a month's time to complete the remaining work. Levi heaved a sigh of relief, his face filled with joy as he chanted. Chapter 1253, Capturing Thunder Elemental Spirit. 8 main swords and 81 secondary swords were rotating in the weapon refinement room. These were array items, but there was a distinction between primary and secondary. The complexity of this new array far exceeded the 7 kings of hell. Of course, its power was also much higher. This was a genuine 5th circle array. Even among the 5th circle, it was considered a high-quality array. This array can be called the 8 Heavenly Dragon Prison. Levi muttered. On this day, he arrived above the island. As he chanted, the 8 swords and the 81 swords all turned into light and disappeared into the surroundings of the island. Next, Levi and Holy Infant continued to adjust the 80,000 large array nodes and 810,000 small array nodes on the array. A few days later, his spiritual force, which had just entered the 5th circle, was almost exhausted. He finally completed the setup of the 8 Heavenly Dragon Prison. He breathed a sigh of relief and drank the potion to meditate to recover his spiritual force. As expected of a large-scale 5th circle array. Under normal circumstances, this would take at least 4 5th circle array wizards and many 4th circle array wizards a few days to complete. From the outside, the island looked normal. However, if an enemy were to enter, they would discover that this place was a terrifying dragon hell. In hell, Levi called Sawkins and the other transcendent creatures over. Next, find a place where your attributes are compatible and cultivate normally. 3 brothers, go to the earth. Crimson Horn, go to the flames. After making the necessary arrangements, Levi looked at the scene with satisfaction. In the following month, under his command, these transcendent creatures continued to adapt and train in their respective hells, becoming qualified guardians of the array. Dragon Palace Island had become a mysterious forbidden area in the sea. Several days later, Levi ended his cultivation and looked in the direction of the Io continent. Now that the 8 Heavenly Dragon Prison is protecting the Dragon Palace, and my Nightmare Dragon has also given birth to a Dharma idol, its strength has increased further. It's time to save the Thunder Elemental Spirit. Let me think, which avatar should I use? Holy Infant's current strength is not very good. Other than the spells of the Burning Faction, the rest are average. My Gandalf avatar is quite powerful. Other than that, it would be the 3-headed Dragon Abomination. It is better to use the Dragon Abomination avatar. This would be more taboo. After all, Gandalf is an amiable and chivalrous Cane Ranger. His character cannot be destroyed. Dragon Abomination has been silent for so long, it's time for him to come out and take a breather. On the island, Prime Minister Dragon Turtle Ratty was cultivating intensely. Now that there were more and more level 5 existences on the island, it felt a sense of urgency. Originally, this old turtle would take some time off to sleep every day. Now that Ratty had started to roll, it did not sleep at all. Ratty was crazy and could be called the second generation of Levi. Levi called Sawkins and the 3 earthquake dragons over. I'm going on a long journey for a while. You guys take care of the PL, make good use of the array, and protect our comrades on the island. Crab General Sawkins nodded repeatedly. The eldest earthquake dragon, Ganster, promised, "Don't worry, Lord Dragon King. The 3 of us will guard the first level, Rolling Stone Hell. We won't let anyone else enter the Dragon Palace." After joining the Dragon Palace, the Dragon King fulfilled his promise. Not only did he not harm them, but he even healed their injuries and gave them precious medicines to promote their growth. Moreover, the Dragon King even took care of the 3 brothers himself. He regularly gave them blood tests to check their health. This feeling of being cared for by the Dragon King made the 3 brothers know that they had not lost anything by following the Dragon King. As for the shiny gold coins and diamonds that the 3 brothers liked, they had more than enough. In their eyes, Dragon Palace was a true paradise. Levi nodded. He was very assured about these transcendent creatures. The first stage of the array was guarded by the 3 brothers. The 3 sub-dragons, together with the array, could be said to have the right timing, the right place, and the right people. Even if a 5th circle senior wizard came, he would not be able to gain any advantage. There was a high chance that he would run away in defeat. Levi had brought Holy Infant, Phoenix, and Leon with him on this long journey. The first 2 were used as trump cards in the battle, just in case. Leon was responsible for the aftermath. Levi estimated that after devouring a few more level 5 souls, Leon should be able to advance. After everything was ready, Levi rushed towards the Thunder Basin. He first went to Deep Blue Organization on the way and turned into a nomadic wizard to visit Anya. The young man had already recovered and was full of energy. He was currently regrouping and working hard to cultivate. This time, he didn't meet the 2 witches who picked on him. Because they were killed by Simon. Wasn't it a kind of happiness to be killed by the person you liked? Several days later. At Thunder Basin, in a secluded area. There were 6 wizards sitting opposite each other, plotting something big. The 6 of them wore white robes with golden lightning tattoos on them. The leader was a 5th circle wizard. The other 5 were all 4th circle senior wizards, and they were all at the level of a perfected 4th circle wizard. There was no doubt that this was an elite wizard team. It was the Letney family from the Deep Blue Organization. According to our intelligence, Archmage Thunderbolt has already left the Thunder Punishment Tribunal. However, there is still a Thunder Sky Archmage guarding the Thunder Pool. Next, I will be responsible for luring Thunder Sky away. The 5 of you will use the Thunder King's Palace array given by the organization to suppress the level 5 Thunder Elemental Spirit. Then, you will use the wizard tool I gave you to forcefully form a contract with it. After that, you will immediately escape and head to the organization's base. Chapter 1254, Attacking Thunder Sky. The leader of the 5th Circle Wizards said all these to the team. Understood. With the team leader taking action, this operation will certainly be successful. That's right. These natives dare to call themselves Archmage. They're simply laughingstocks. In front of the elites of our Golden Lightning family, they're nothing but chickens and dogs. You can't put it that way. It's said that the Snow Lotus Witch had fought with Archmage Thunderbolt before and was no match for him. How can this be the same? We are the Lightning School of Thought. Among all the schools, other than the Burning School of Thought, who can compare to us in terms of killing? Our team leader even advanced to the 5th circle as a child of the Thunder element. He also has a 5th circle wizard weapon bestowed by the organization. His strength is not something that an ordinary 5th circle wizard can compare to. Do you understand the value of a genius 5th circle wizard? Besides, the Archmage guarding the tribunal is much weaker than Thunderbolt. The 5th circle wizard coughed and said proudly, although what you said is true, we wizards should not be arrogant and complacent. I, Gabriel, have cultivated for 250 years and have only reached the 5th circle realm. Up until now, I have only grasped 7 innate spells. In front of a true genius, it is not worth mentioning. The Golden Light Wizard is our role model. Gabriel appeared humble on the surface, but he was actually humble bragging. After all, he was a 5th circle wizard, the son of the Thunder element, 250 years old, and had reached perfection with 6 talents that were at 3rd circle and 4th circle. These conditions added together would make him a genius in the eyes of the public. It could only be said that he was still a little lacking from a top-notch genius. Alright, let's act according to the plan. This thunder elemental spirit is something that the commander-in-chief is determined to obtain. After capturing it, it's obviously going to be given to the Golden Light Wizard to help him increase his strength. Perhaps there are wizards from the neighboring Thunder Divine Hall who have taken a fancy to this thunder elemental spirit and are waiting for an opportunity to capture it. Gabriel's words came true. At the edge of the Thunder Basin, a fifth circle wizard from Thunder Divine Hall had already led a team to attack. Thunderbolt has left. Next, it's time for us to put on a spectacular performance. However, neither side expected this. A figure had already arrived at the Thunder Punishment Tribunal before them. Above the Thunder Pool, Levi hid in the lightning clouds, the hermit rune concealing his figure. It seems that Archmage Thunderbolt is not around. I originally wanted to use him to practice, but I can only give up now. This is good too. It'll be easier for me to take away the Thunder Elemental Spirit. Thunderbolt was a senior level 5 mage, so it was indeed troublesome to deal with him. However, Levi could sense that there was another level 5 Archmage in the tribunal, but he was much weaker than Thunderbolt. Levi had already sent his Holy Infant clone somewhere in the basin to be on standby, just in case. Anya, I'm here to make things difficult for you. Levi's robe exploded and turned into ashes under the black flames. Savage black scales began to appear, and his body began to grow until he was 3 stories tall. Phew, I haven't fought in a long time. Let's warm up first. Boom. He swooped down and caused the airflow to explode rapidly, scattering the thunderclouds in the sky. The black flames formed a tail gas that flew across the sky like a plane and did not dissipate for a long time. In the tribunal. In a basement that looked like an ancient Roman public bathroom. An extravagant aura filled the air, and the alluring voice sounded wave after wave. It was a bald archmage with thick eyebrows and big eyes. He had an extraordinary aura and a strong body. He didn't have the aura of a mage at all. In the bathroom, he was fighting with 18 nuns who were practicing thunder magic in disheveled clothes. The battle was so intense that it was dazzling. As the junior brother of Archmage Thunderbolt and also the disciple of Lightning Supreme Mage, he was naturally extraordinary, strong and big. It was rumored that he was born with a special constitution. It was said that he could promote the growth of his spiritual power by connecting with the opposite sex. Therefore, he had nurtured 18 female lightning mages, known as the 18 nuns. He spent every night partying and studying the legendary dual cultivation path. He was only 300 years old, but he was already a level 5 archmage. The strength of dual cultivation was evident. Of course, he didn't forget to be vigilant when he was having fun. Before senior brother Thunderbolt left, Thunderbolt had warned him to be careful of the evil mage's revenge. He could not let his guard down. Suddenly, his expression changed, and he immediately poked his head out from the crowd of women. How dare you? You've ruined my plans. When I catch you, I'll definitely let you taste the pain of lightning treatment. He turned into lightning and rushed out of the bathroom. The 18 nuns were nervous. Will Lord Thundersky be alright? Don't worry, Lord Thundersky has extraordinary strength. He also has the divine talisman bestowed by Lord Thunderbolt. Ordinary evil mages are no match for him. I hope so. If Lord Thundersky dies, we will have no one to rely on in this chaotic world. Outside, Thundersky saw the enemy. It was a black scale dragon man that descended from the sky. Oh no, it's actually a demon dragon. 30 years ago, the Supreme Archmage had once prophesied, a jinx has descended. Heresy like the evil mage, demon dragons, golems, and other heretics are about to bring disaster to Io. Tell all the churches and monasteries to be prepared. The demon dragon was referring to the dragon abomination. They were extremely ferocious and bloodthirsty. Together with the golems and demons, they were known as the 3 demons of Io. Seeing this, the demon dragon charged over. He, die. Thundersky waved his staff, and countless purple lightning bolts swept toward the demon dragon. Evil demon, the one who will die is you. Boom. A level 5 thunder technique exploded. The monastery was trembling. This bit of attack isn't even enough to scratch my itch. The demon dragon carried the purple lightning and rushed out of the range of the explosion. Black flames surrounded his body and repelled the purple lightning. Chapter 1255, The Fight Against Thundersky. He swung the spiked club in his hand. A terrifying wind swept out. Thunder Sky used all his strength to form a thunder barrier. Kaka! The strong wind tore through the barrier and disappeared. Thunder Sky shot out and raised his staff high. In the sky, thunder clouds gathered and lightning bolts as thick as water tanks fell. The demon dragon was struck to the ground and fell into a huge pit. You're bluffing. You can't even withstand a single blow. Thunder Sky laughed coldly and continued to use his lightning technique. In the next moment, he suddenly became absent-minded and instantly regained his clarity. Just now, he seemed to have seen a giant spider that could support the heavens and the earth. As for him, he was entangled in the spider web. Just as he was in a daze, a black shadow suddenly appeared behind him. The spiked club in his hand struck forward. This is bad. Thunder Sky's expression changed, and his protective force field flashed. At the same time, he threw out a purple divine talisman carved with a myriad of lightning without hesitation, and it exploded instantly. Divine Talisman Thunder Crash. Boom! The divine talisman exploded. Tens of thousands of purple thunderbolts fell and exploded in a radius of a mile. This was an all-round attack without blind spots. In an instant, the monastery was razed to the ground, and the 18 nuns inside were instantly vaporized. The high temperature of the lightning melted a giant lava pit on the earth. The power of one attack was so terrifying. Ha! You want to fight me? I'm the disciple of Lightning Supreme Mage. How can I not have a trump card? Thunder Sky sneered. Every level of the Divine Talisman could be divided into 4 grades in Kane's system. Low level, medium level, high level, and absolute. The one he just had was a rare level 5 high-level Divine Talisman. It was made by the eldest disciple of Lightning Supreme Mage, an Archmage who was even more powerful than Thunderbolt. His name was Archmage Myriad Thunder, and he was the most trusted disciple of Lightning Supreme Mage. He was a potential successor. So what if it was a demon dragon? It would still be killed. At the bottom of the pit, a figure rose from the sky, and around the demon dragon's body, there were a total of 6 giant dragon Dharma idols revolving around it. His body was in pieces, and countless flesh sprouts were growing crazily. Other than his head, there was not a single part of his body that was intact. Even his heart was exposed and was beating rapidly. However, in the blink of an eye, as ashes danced around his body, his damaged body had already recovered. Levi let out a breath of turbid air and sighed in his heart. This instant cast the way of Divine Talisman is really impossible to guard against. The 6 great Dharma idols and the divine weapons protection, coupled with the golden snake scales at the peak of level 4, can't even block it. Could it be that the person who created this divine talisman is an archmage who has attained perfection in the 5th circle realm? If it were anyone else, they would have probably died. Seeing that the demon dragon was unharmed, Thunder Sky's expression changed drastically in disbelief. How is that possible? This is a divine talisman personally made by Archmage Myriad Thunder. This dragon abomination. Does he actually have the legendary immortal body? One had to know that Myriad Thunder had used this divine talisman to kill a level 5 demon dragon. Even the most powerful golem among the 3 demons of Io was severely injured by this attack and fled in panic. In the next moment, the figure shot over. How did it look like he had been seriously injured? A mere serious injury is nothing. Go to hell. The spiked club smashed into Thunder Sky's barrier and shattered instantly. Thunder Sky was at his wit's end and could only flee frantically. Other than the divine talisman, he couldn't even break the other party's defense with any other means. How could he fight? Boom! Another shocking attack. Thunder Sky was hit by the spiked club like a baseball. He crashed into the white jade pillar that had just been repaired. The pillar cracked and Thunder Sky was crushed into pieces. A level 5 archmage. Dead. The thunder elemental spirit was dumbfounded. Levi picked up the ring and looked up. He said calmly, "If you come with me, I'll let you go. If you don't want to, you can die with him." In the next moment, Thunder Rock nodded his head crazily like a chick pecking at rice. "Is it that easy? I'm not used to it. It seems that you've been taught harshly for a long time." Levi used his dragon claws to tear the chains apart, and the Thunder Rock descended from the sky. It spread its wings and crouched on the ground, lowering its head. It was very perceptive and took the initiative to send the spirit contract into Levi's mind, successfully recognizing him as its master. "Very good. I like birds like you. You're much better than some birds." Chapter 1256, Before the Dragon Abomination, Claiming Genius is Futile. 1. Thunder Basin. The Thunder Punishment Tribunal. In the void, the Supreme Eye slowly appeared, gazing at the dragon demon. Levi ignored it, and before long, the Supreme Eye silently dissipated. Great, all three of my aliases are now wanted by the Kane Empire. Truly a united family in everything they do, Levi muttered to himself. Above the thunder pool, the thunder rock opened its mouth wide, like a sea-swallowing whale, attempting to absorb all the elemental power of the thunder. Through the spiritual contract, Levi learned that the thunder rock had been exploited by the Thunder Punishment Tribunal for years, weakening its strength. Now it needed to absorb the elemental power of the thunder pool to recover. Absorb to your heart's content. I will protect you, Levi said. He went to the ruins of the Thunder Punishment Tribunal, searching for the loot left by those minor mages. Even mosquito meat is still meat. Suddenly, Levi's expression changed. He flickered away from his original position. From the distant horizon, a purple thunder snake struck with lightning speed. Boom! Thunder roared and arcs of lightning danced. Dragon abomination, leave at once. A cold, unfeeling voice came from afar, belonging to a figure in thunder robes. A member of the Divine Tower? It seems the Thunder Divine Hall is here. Are they also after this thunder elemental spirit? He had previously killed a Black Thunder Wizard, who was also a Fifth Circle member of the Divine Tower. This organization was one of the major groups within the Lightning School of Thought. Levi asked, why don't you ask her if she wants to go with you? The Thunder Rock shook its head vigorously, clearly unwilling. You coerced it with force. Naturally, it wouldn't want to go. Now, as a wizard of the Thunder Divine Hall, I formally declare that it belongs to the Divine Tower. I'm in a good mood today and don't wish for a massacre. You, outsider, should leave. Behind the Thunder Wizard, several Fourth Circle wizards began to form ranks, clearly prepared. But it was evident that their bodies were trembling. After all, they were likely facing a Fifth Circle dragon abomination, a notorious and ruthless killer. Yet, with the Thunder Wizard, who had ascended to the Fifth Circle 20 years ago, leading them, their fear gradually subsided. This thunder elemental spirit is useless to a dragon abomination like you. I advise you to leave it, the Thunder Wizard continued, clearly unwilling to start a fight with the dragon abomination. Levi stood in front of the Thunder Rock, smiling. How is it useless? I could tame it and ride it. In that case, die. Everyone, form ranks. At the Thunder Wizard's command, the light of their magical array shot into the sky. Levi remained calm, thinking, this is an intricate wizard combat array, interesting. In an instant, the aura of all the Fourth Circle wizards connected, their spell power surged into the array. Countless bolts of thunder converged, forming a towering purple giant, tens of meters high. The giant wore armor and wielded a warhammer, its entire form bathed in lightning, resembling the legendary thunder god. Combat array, Thunder Giant. Harnessing the power of at least 5 senior Fourth Circle wizards, this array conjured a phantom of the thunder god, nearly reaching the Fifth Circle level. Impressive for a large organization to possess such an array. Compared to this, the Purgatory Ghost killing array from the Magic Mirror feels outdated. The path of the wizard is the path of collective wisdom, and the ancients cannot compare to the present. Levi's thoughts churned, yet he remained unperturbed. The Thunder Rock chirped, asking Levi if it should stop absorbing the power of the pool of thunder and flee. She could sense the tense atmosphere. Keep absorbing. With me here, no one will disturb you, Levi communicated. This situation was entirely within his control. Reassured by Levi, the Thunder Rock continued to absorb the power of the thunder pool without distraction. Levi gripped his spiked club, standing in front of the Thunder Rock, exuding an aura of invincibility. Use the array to kill the dragon abomination. The cunning Thunder Wizard did not attack directly. He let his subordinates test the dragon abomination's strength first. Let this backwater outsider witness the true might of the Thunder God and the power of knowledge. The 5 Fourth Circle wizards stood in the void at the head and limbs of the Thunder Giant, controlling the Thunder Mech as one. Boom! With every movement of the Thunder Giant, purple lightning followed, crashing toward Levi like a tidal wave. Around Levi, black flames rose, forming a high wall. Boom! Thunder and fire clashed, creating an earth-shaking explosion. A mere dragon abomination. Seeing the dragon abomination only holding its ground against the Thunder Giant, the Thunder Wizard breathed a sigh of relief. Standing afar, his innate spell took the form of a giant thunder wolf, which howled and charged forward. Levi shot out, and simultaneously, 6 Dharma idols appeared. His spiked club collided with the left hand of the thunder giant. The Dharma idols clashed with the thunder dragon, roaring thunderously. The giant's hand was shattered by Levi's spiked club. The fourth circle wizard within the left arm groaned, clearly injured. The thunder wolf vanished, and the thunder wizard's expression changed, surprised that the dragon abomination could still counter his sneak attack. This combat array is impressive but still falls short of a true fifth circle wizard. I haven't even used any form enhancements, just my basic flame dragon's true form. To wield fifth circle power with 5 fourth circle bodies, this array is truly remarkable. It should be mine. Chapter 1257, Before the Dragon Abomination, Claiming Genius is Futile. 2. Levi fought and analyzed simultaneously. The next moment, after consuming a potion, the fourth circle wizard endured the pain in his spiritual force and restored the giant's hand. Thunder exploded from the giant's palm, blinding Levi with its brilliance. Nightmare fog. Instantly, like an octopus spewing ink, a thick mist enveloped the thunder giant. The lightning in the giant's palm blasted a hole in the mist, but Levi was nowhere to be seen. In the dense fog, the terrifying roar of a dragon echoed. Everyone, get out of the mist. The thunder wizard outside quickly cast a wide area thunder spell, trying to dispel the fog. He could feel that within the mist, spiritual perception was greatly diminished, rendering the wizards blind. But it was too late. The thunder giant thrashed wildly, discharging bolts of lightning aimlessly. The 5 wizards within it were engulfed in fog. What's happening? My perception range is only a few hundred meters. Same here. I sense great terror in the fog. Focus on a direction and escape. Yes, find a direction. The thunder giant broke through the mist, charging ahead. Logically, its speed should have easily allowed it to escape the fog. Yet, after flying in circles, they found themselves back where they started, as if trapped in a legendary ghost wall. This was the horror of the nightmare fog. Not only did it weaken perception, but it also deceived those with lower spiritual force. Such was the hallmark skill of the nightmare lords. Kill. It's just an illusion. Attack with all your might, the dragon abomination must be hiding in the fog. Use wide area thunder spells. They attacked frantically, hundreds of lightning balls exploding like fireworks. Soon, the thunder giant's momentum began to wane. The combat array that formed its 5th level strength consumed vast energy and couldn't be sustained. Before Levi could act, they were already falling apart. Levi, grinning menacingly, appeared before one of the 4th circle wizards like a phantom and shattered him. In the mist, Leon madly devoured souls. A 4th circle wizard wandered through the mist, sweat dripping from his forehead. Come out. Is this all you can do? Hiding behind tricks? Face me, you outsider. Just as he finished speaking, a towering figure emerged behind him. From the dragon claw, black flames spewed forth. Sensing the enemy at last, the wizard swallowed hard, trembling as he spoke, "The Thunder Wizard will avenge us. In the face of a true wizard genius, you are nothing." The flames consumed him, and Levi sneered, "He doesn't even dare come in to rescue you." Before long, as the mist dissipated, all the 4th circle wizards lay dead. Meanwhile, the Thunder Wizard, afraid to get close, stayed at a distance, protected by a 5th circle defensive wizard tool, casting spells at the fog. His forehead was drenched in sweat as he shouted, "Face me, you bastard!" It was a scene akin to a frightened mortal shouting into the dark to bolster their courage. The Thunder Wizard knew that if he recklessly approached and lost his advantage as a wizard, his fate would be similar to that of the 4th circle wizards. "Dragon Abomination, you've killed so many wizards of the Divine Tower. There will be no place for you on the Io continent. Anyone can talk tough. If you have the guts, come over here," Levi taunted. At that moment, he frowned. On the horizon behind him, another group appeared. It was Gabriel and his 5 companions. Seeing the situation, Gabriel quickly realized that the Archmage of the Thunder Punishment Tribunal was likely dead. Now, the Dragon Abomination was clashing with the Divine Tower's forces. This is the perfect opportunity. Let's capture the Thunder Elemental Spirit, Gabriel urged. The 5 wizards charged toward the Thunder Rock. A wall of black flames spread out, blocking their path. "Anyone who enters the pool of thunder will die." Levi retracted his hand, his voice cold. "How dare you, Dragon Abomination? Are you trying to stop me?" Gabriel shouted. "Get lost!" Levi retorted coldly. Gabriel's face turned livid with anger. He glanced at the dragon abomination and then at the thunder wizard. Sir, although we are rivals, we are both wizards. In this situation, why don't we join forces to kill the dragon abomination first? Then we can compete for the thunder elemental spirit based on our abilities, he suggested. That's exactly what I was thinking. The thunder wizard finally found a way out of his predicament. Alone, he doubted he could defeat the dragon abomination without significant cost. But combined with the young fifth circle wizard from the Letny family, their chances improved drastically. As a child of the elements in the Thunder Divine Hall, the Thunder Wizard was among the best of his generation. The Thunder Rock looked at Levi, unsure of what to do. Continue. I won't let them disturb you, Levi communicated to the Thunder Rock, his voice calm and reassuring. The Thunder Rock nodded, urging Levi to be careful. Levi felt a sense of comfort. Unlike Phoenix, who always wished for his demise, the Thunder Rock was considerate. Two genius fifth circle wizards from top organizations. Looks like I'll have to get serious today. Levi took a deep breath. As he watched the wizards closing in from both sides, an endless black flame erupted from within him. The black flame soared into the sky, forming the colossal and formidable figure of the three-headed dragon god. Chapter 1258, Before the Dragon Abomination, Claiming Genius is Futile. 3. Outside the dark ancient tower, countless eyes were drawn to the intense battle unfolding on the fifth level. Every time wizards clashed with outsiders, it captured the eager anticipation of the wizarding community. Watching wizards annihilate outsiders was a thrilling spectacle. However, witnessing wizards being overpowered by formidable outsiders was far less enjoyable. On this day, the long-forgotten three-headed dragon abomination re-emerged before the world. And what awaited him were two genius fifth circle wizards from the Divine Tower and the Letny family. In the ancient Saint Plain, familiar with the appearance of the three-headed creature, the knights once again gathered together. The monster is back. This time, I'm betting on the monster to win. I think the wizards will win this time. These two are said to be the elite of the wizards. If they lose to the monster, where would the wizard's pride be? Shall we place a small bet? Better not. The commander said to stay away from gambling. In the mortal realm, Estella, the saint of the Church of the Stars, was currently discussing important matters with her ally, Dragon. To combat the forsaken land of the god and preserve the seven divine fire seeds, the major churches had formed a loose alliance known as the Seven Gods Alliance. Within this alliance, there were smaller factions like the Church of the Stars and the Dragon God, and others like the Earth and the Holy Light. Dragon, what do you think of this dragon abomination? Estella asked. Through the ancient tower, I can't see clearly, but I can sense that this dragon abomination is somewhat extraordinary. Perhaps it isn't as simple as it seems. The dragon abomination venerable claims that this dragon abomination is his child. Do you believe that to be true? Estella inquired. Dragon chuckled, that's just a tactic he uses to oppose the dragon clan. It's not to be taken seriously. Dragon continued, I believe that this battle will end with the three-headed dragon abomination's victory. Estella asked, do you have that much faith in him? Dragon replied confidently, a dragon is inherently powerful. Meanwhile, in the endless sea and the realm of thunder, the wizards of the Letny family and the Divine Tower eagerly awaited the battle. They had all been harmed by the three-headed dragon abomination on the fourth level, and their organization's branches had been destroyed by him. Now, they finally had a chance to seek revenge. The electric eel wizard watched the projection with a cold gaze. As soon as he heard that the three-headed dragon abomination had appeared, he immediately tuned into the live broadcast. As a scion of the Wizard King, his sense of family honor was intense. Although Gabriel is not as skilled as the Golden Light Wizard, with the Thunder Wizard's assistance, defeating the dragon abomination is almost guaranteed, he analyzed internally. Previously, on the fourth level, the dragon abomination had flaunted its power for far too long. Now, fate had brought the dragon abomination face to face with the elite of the fifth level. This time, the three-headed dragon abomination was destined for doom, with no chance of escape. As the infamous dragon abomination, who once stirred the world, reappeared, all the wizard organizations that had been oppressed by him turned their attention to the battle. Across the Pan Plain, the only one hoping for the dragon abomination's victory was the extreme evil dragon, the dragon abomination Venerable. The dragon abomination Venerable laughed heartily, his laughter causing the land of darkness to tremble. Slaughter them, my child. Finally, something interesting in the dull fifth level. Inside the ancient tower, the three-headed dragon god descended from the sky, a black flame spreading out behind him. Levi, hidden within, had a fierce gleam in his eyes. Let's use you to test the results of my heavenly dragon sword codex. The spiked club had long disappeared, replaced by the freshly forged crimson dragon slash. The dragon god's muscles swelled, 6 arms gripping the great sword of black flame, channeling immense strength into it. The indestructible armor transformed into sinister black scales covering his entire body, emitting black flames. 3,000 feather blades swirled around the dragon god, forming a stormy force field. The nightmare helmet became the head of a black dragon in the center of the dragon god's 3 heads. A scarlet cloak stretched behind the dragon god, forming a blood-red river that spanned the sky. A golden shield was hurled by the dragon god, whistling through the battlefield like a flying disc. The 6 divine weapons, in perfect harmony with the 3-headed dragon god, adapted to his fighting style, changing as needed to maximize their power. Today, the 6 divine weapons and 6 dharma idols had reached perfection. The 3-headed dragon god was fully equipped with attack, defense, control, and movement abilities. Facing 2 opponents at once, he remained unafraid. What is this dragon abomination? Seeing this scene, both Gabriel and the Thunder Wizard were shocked. After entering the 5th level, they had fought other dragon abominations, with varying results. The dragon abominations they had encountered primarily relied on innate spells and rough physical techniques. Occasionally, some mastered powerful secret techniques. But compared to this dragon abomination, those techniques seemed pitifully weak. This secret technique even made them feel like they were facing a primordial soul wizard form. We need to give it our all. In Gabriel's mind, a purple necklace appeared. It bore mysterious spell runes, clearly a 5th circle wizard tool. The captain is using the Thunder Cloud necklace right at the start of the battle. This dragon abomination is truly formidable, murmured the 4th circle wizards, realizing a tough battle lay ahead. As Gabriel brought out the Thunder Cloud necklace, thunder continuously gathered around him, enveloping him in a dense golden thundercloud, boosting his aura. Golden lightning formed chains in his palms, extending towards the dragon god. On the other side, a round shield made of purple shell danced around the Thunder Wizard. This wizard tool was named Thunder Shell Shield. Chapter 1259, Before Dragon Abomination, Claiming Genius is Futile. 4. After reaching the 5th circle wizard realm within the ancient tower, the organization's supreme commander, an experienced 5th circle weapon craftsman, used a rare 5th circle transcendent creature from the Io Eastern Sea, the Eastern Sea Thunder Shell, to refine 2 5th circle wizard tools, the Thunder Shell Shield and the Thunderbreaker Pearl. The Thunderbreaker Pearl was an exceptional 5th circle wizard tool with immense power, currently in the possession of the Divine Tower's top genius, the Thunder Wizard. The Thunder Shell Shield, although of high quality, was slightly inferior but still a coveted treasure among many 5th circle wizards. With the Thunder Shield and protective force field ensuring his safety, the Thunder Wizard transformed into a bolt of lightning, creating distance between himself and the 3-headed dragon god. Simultaneously, he pointed a finger, and a solid lightning ball shot forth from the void. 4th circle talent, Annihilation Lightning Ball. This strike was formidable, possessing 250 Ka of power, but it still paled compared to Levi's Fire Dragon Tribulation. The 2 wizards dared not underestimate their opponent and unleashed their most powerful techniques right away. The dragon god raised his hand, transforming 3,000 feather blades into a hurricane, slashing toward the golden chains. The golden dragon shield flew out, intercepting the lightning ball nearby. The lightning ball exploded, causing the golden dragon shield to tremble. Had Levi not reforged it, the shield might have reverted to its original form and retreated to heal. However, the golden dragon shield had been nourished for a long time, already a level 4 divine weapon. Levi continuously added new rare materials, increasing its power day by day. Meanwhile, the Letny family's 4th circle wizards had surrounded Levi, taking advantage of the 2 5th circle wizards engaging the dragon abomination. But as an array wizard, Levi had long anticipated their actions. Before the array could activate, the 3-headed dragon god suddenly accelerated, executing 3 consecutive sword strikes with the heavenly dragon sword codex. 3 sword cheese. 1 aimed at the Thunder Wizard. 1 aimed at Gabriel. The final one tore open the scarlet dark dimension. In the sky, 100-meter-long red wound appeared. The dragon god's massive body dove into it, vanishing from sight. Damn it, what kind of technique is this? Why doesn't this dragon abomination follow the usual patterns? Gabriel thought, alarmed. He quickly used the thundercloud to block the terrifying sword chi. Boom! The thundercloud necklace erupted with golden light, successfully blocking the sword chi attack. This necklace was a high-quality 5th circle wizard tool, otherwise, it couldn't have withstood Levi's sword chi attack so easily. Be careful, everyone. This dragon abomination knows some deceptive tricks and loves to ambush others, the Thunder Wizard warned. By then, the 4th circle wizards had completed their array. A massive thunder palace descended from the sky, sealing off the surroundings. The 5th circle array, Thunder King's Court. Even a 5th circle wizard, if trapped within, would struggle to escape for a considerable time, finding it hard to dodge spells, and would be left at the mercy of relentless magical attacks. You useless fools, can't you move any faster? The enemies already escaped. Gabriel shouted angrily, looking at the empty array where the dragon abomination had been. This dragon abomination reacted too quickly, as if it knew they were about to set up the array. Its intelligence was far superior to that of other dragon abominations. Gabriel spread out his spiritual force, scanning the surroundings to prevent any surprise attacks. Suddenly, his expression changed. He saw a tear open behind one of the 4th circle wizards. Watch out! As he spoke, a lightning spear shot forth. Boom! But it was too late. The long sword pierced through the 4th circle wizard's force field, killing him instantly. With his death, the 5th circle array collapsed on its own. The 3-headed dragon god reappeared, raising a giant shield to block the lightning spear. Some of the lightning still struck the dragon god, causing arcs of electricity to dance across its body. A normal 5th circle wizard would have been in serious trouble. But the dragon god smiled, and a shadow of a sky dragon appeared behind him, absorbing all the electric arcs. Damn, this guy can actually absorb lightning power, the thunder wizard exclaimed, halting the attack he was about to launch. Use your true power. Ordinary attacks won't kill him, they'll just make him stronger. We need to overwhelm him with a barrage of attacks to take him down. Gabriel shouted. Got it. The two wizards, in a rare show of coordination, prepared their next moves. Gabriel's golden spell power surged wildly. A massive golden lightning pillar shot forth, giving the dragon abomination no time to react as it was blasted away. 5th circle talent, instant thunder strike. This move was incredibly fast and accurate, almost impossible to dodge, and it was Gabriel's signature skill. Meanwhile, hundreds of lightning balls appeared before the thunder wizard. These lightning balls quickly flew towards the dragon abomination, transforming mid-air into armored thunder soldiers. Each soldier had the power of a 3rd circle wizard, and together they formed a formidable force, their collective power causing a qualitative change that was extremely terrifying. This move was similar to Levi's way of the divine talisman. 5th circle talent, Thunder Soldiers. Dying under the might of my strongest 5th circle talent is your honor, the Thunder Wizard declared. These Thunder Soldiers were the Thunder Wizard's trump card. Because it required gathering hundreds of soldiers and consumed a lot of energy, he seldom used it. But every time he did, it never disappointed. This is the power of a genius, the surviving 4th circle wizards thought, their eyes filled with awe. Under such a grand and majestic thunder attack, any evil was nothing to fear. Outside the ancient tower, watching the dragon abomination being engulfed by the thunder soldiers and the golden lightning pillar, the onlookers murmured, "It's over." The wizards of the Letny family and the divine tower cheered with joy. Chapter 1260, Before Dragon Abomination, Claiming Genius is Futile. 5. With that strike, even if it doesn't kill him, it will surely leave him gravely injured. The 3-headed dragon abomination stands no chance now. The electric eel wizard sneered, seems I overestimated him. The thunder wizard's 5th circle talent is quite impressive, with limitless potential for the future. He truly deserves a spot in the top 50 of the ancient tower rankings. Even the saint of the human realm and the dragon furrowed their brows. Did I misjudge? Only the dragon abomination venerable believed in the 3-headed dragon abomination. He murmured to himself, the secret technique that forms the feather dragon behind him can absorb thunder, combined with the dragon abomination's invincible body. He can't be taken down so easily. Sure enough. The sea of golden and purple thunder was torn apart, and a figure bathed in lightning broke through the thunder soldiers' blockade, laughing arrogantly. It was the 3-headed dragon abomination. His scales were shattered, his defenses breached, and his flesh was charred, with arcs of electricity coursing over him. Yet, his aura was stronger than ever. Behind Levi, the Dharma idol of wind and thunder surge swelled, growing stronger with the accumulated thunder energy. Its power now dwarfed even the Crimson Emperor Dragon's Dharma idol. Growing fiercer with each battle, his scales bristled, and his strength was boundless. Heavenly Dragon Sword Codex. This time, the sword key power increased by 30% compared to before. This strike aimed at the Thunder Wizard. The dragon-shaped sword chi shot forth. The Thunder Wizard, expending all his spell power, conjured hundreds of lightning balls once more. Your immortal body has limits, you can't be invincible forever. An even more ferocious wave of thunder soldiers surged forth. At the same time, he raised the Thunder Shell shield to block the incoming sword chi. It was this shield that had previously blocked the opponent's sword chi attack. He trusted in the defense of this wizard tool. Sword chi collided with the shield. It felt like a massive river crashing against him. Crack! A terrifying sound echoed. The Thunder Wizard suddenly realized that the shield he had trusted, capable of withstanding the full strike of a senior 5th Circle Wizard, had shattered. The Thunder Shell shield broke in half, its runes dimming, clearly destroyed. Without the wizard tool's protection, his newly learned 5th Circle protective force field was shattered by the residual sword chi. He was engulfed by the sword chi, completely overwhelmed. As the sword chi dissipated, blood rained down, pattering softly. The genius of the Divine Tower, the Thunder Wizard, was dead. How is this possible? One strike shattered a 5th Circle Wizard tool. Witnessing this, Gabriel panicked. If the opponent could break the Thunder Shell shield, he could also destroy Gabriel's Lightning Cloud necklace. The Dragon Abomination used a secret technique to boost its power, growing stronger with each fight. It's unstoppable. Gabriel transformed into lightning, attempting to flee. Behind him, the 4th Circle Wizards fell like cabbages, slain by the Dragon Abomination, whose power had peaked, body crackling with thunder. Desperately fleeing, Gabriel realized the Dragon Abomination had turned into a black flash, slipping into the shadows and pursuing him swiftly. Though he couldn't see the Dragon Abomination, he knew it was getting closer. The terror of death closing in step by step was overwhelming. Soon, he halted, and a crimson rift tore through the sky ahead, with the dragon god squeezing out, long sword slashing down. From the dragon's horns, an invisible spiritual force attack surged. Nightmare Dragon's Breath. Gabriel was momentarily dazed but snapped back to his senses. The sword chi had already descended. His lightning cloud necklace resisted frantically, golden clouds thickening, becoming tangible. Break! Nightmare Descent, the sky turned pitch black. Levi, enhanced in various forms, channeled terrifying strength through his long sword into the lightning cloud barrier. Boom! The cloud barrier shattered. The necklace dimmed, clearly broken as well. In his Dragon Abomination form, Levi was a destroyer of wizard tools. Thunder God's Protection. Gabriel's last protective force field flickered, his final struggle. He exhausted his last bit of strength, summoning a terrifying golden lightning bolt. But it was futile. 3 dragons flaming kill. 3 colored flames converged before him, exploding. They engulfed him in the golden lightning bolt. Gabriel, dead. Gathering his spoils, the dragon god returned to the Thunder Rock, slowly dissipating. Levi sat cross-legged by the Thunder Pool until the Thunder Rock absorbed all its power. The Thunder Rock's aura peaked, feeling even stronger than the Phoenix. With the battle concluded, Levi quickly left after clearing the battlefield. He regrouped with the Holy Infant in the distance. This battle would have been much easier with the Holy Infant and Phoenix's assistance. However, Levi didn't want to reveal his Dragon Abomination identity, so he never used wizard techniques. Otherwise, why bother with all this? Even without wizard techniques and external aids like arrays, my current knight skills, perfected with 6 divine weapons and 6 Dharma idols, are enough to handle 2 5th Circle wizards alone. Though these 2 were from the lightning school of thought, countered by my Sky Dragon Dharma idol. It might not be as easy with other schools. Leaving the Thunder Basin, Levi found a secluded place to recover and assess his gains. Meanwhile, outside the ancient tower, in the human realm, the dragon smiled. I knew he would win. He has the potential to become a true dragon. Estella pondered deeply before sighing. Luckily, the Dragon Abomination plane isn't part of this convergence, or it would have caused much trouble. In the wizard world, the spectators were silent. Especially the Letny family and the Divine Tower's representatives. Chapter 1261, Before Dragon Abomination, Claiming Genius is Futile. 6. The electric eel wizard was very disappointed. Gabriel had completely disgraced the Golden Lightning family. 2 fifth circle children of the elements, possessing premium 5th circle wizard tools, supported by a combat array team, and they still got thrashed, bullied by a mere dragon abomination. Truly pathetic. Another family wizard said, "Lord Electric Eel, please don't be angry. Our family's true ace among the younger generation is the Golden Light Wizard. A temporary setback means nothing." They couldn't see the dragon abomination's previous battles inside the tower, so they were overconfident. Otherwise, they wouldn't have lost. Indeed, with the Golden Light Wizard around, we will surely reclaim our honor. Besides, our 5th circle perfected powerhouses haven't even taken action yet. The electric eel wizard snorted coldly and returned to the wizard tower. "I just regret not having the chance to fight that beast myself. Otherwise, I'd make sure it had no grave to rest in." In the land of darkness, the dragon abomination Venerable laughed heartily, feeling utterly pleased. Previously, the dragon abomination clan had suffered many defeats at the hands of wizards. Now, the 3-headed dragon abomination had restored their honor. The fire sovereign said, "Indeed, a promising seedling. The key is whether it can grow, at least advancing beyond the 6th level." The dragon abomination Venerable snorted, "If anyone dares to bully my child, I'll retaliate regardless of the disparity in power." The most up-to-date noves are published on Fruitnoelo. They might not be your child. I say they are, and that's final. Inside the ancient tower, Levi had already inventoried his gains. First were the spoils from the native mage, several Dharma artifacts, materials, various magic stones, and a few 5th-level lightning-type divine talismans. However, none were the powerful talisman that nearly injured Levi. From the wizards, the haul was substantial. A total of 900,000 ether stones. Various resources, including a piece of 5th-level elemental metal called Thunder Hive Stone, obtained from Gabriel. The Thunder Hive Stone resembled a honeycomb, covered in tiny holes filled with dense thunder elements. With some 5th-level materials, I can create the Thunder Taper alchemical creature. Creating the Nick God required a massive amount of 5th-level elemental metals and corresponding materials, which couldn't be gathered in the short term. Levi's plan was to first assemble the 3 wind gods, forming a set effect, and then refine other items. Additionally, there were several 4th circle wizard tools, all standard issue and of average quality. The Shattered Thunder Shell Shield and Lightning Cloud Necklace were decent finds. 5th circle wizard tools could be categorized into ordinary, premium, and top-tier levels. The Secret Fire Sphere was ordinary, while the Circle of Ouroboros was top-tier. Moreover, what delighted Levi the most was acquiring a ready-made 5th circle array, the Thunder King's Court. Although its power was far less than the 8 Heavenly Dragon Prison, it was simple to set up. Levi could deploy it alone, forming the array instantly. He also obtained a ready-made 5th circle combat array, the Thunder Giant. Levi had witnessed its power firsthand. When he had the time, he planned to analyze and study this array, combining it with the Purgatory Ghost Killing Array, to create a combat array suitable for knights and ancient saints. A few days later, Levi returned to Dragon Palace Island with the Holy Infant. In the 8 Heavenly Dragon Prison, the transcendent creatures were thrilled to see Levi return. Levi released the Thunder Rock, assigning it to temporarily guard the Lightning Hell. The alchemical creatures couldn't come out yet, so the Thunder Rock needed something to do. With so many 5th-level beings guarding it, the defense of the 8 Heavenly Dragon Prison was unparalleled. Training in such a place was incredibly reassuring. Next, I'll upgrade the Book of the Undead to a 5th circle wizard tool. Once this wizard tool reaches the 5th circle, it will become a top-grade wizard tool. Levi immediately entered seclusion and began refining the Book of the Undead. In the year 1198 of the Holy Brilliance calendar, month of beginning. The 33rd year of the Dark Ancient Tower. The 97th Round Table meeting of the Twilight Knights was held. As Levi arrived, he noticed the Ash Knight looked revitalized and had a completely different aura. "Congratulations on reaching the 4th level," Levi said with a smile. The Ash Knight replied, "Haha, thank you, Commander." With a thought, a massive grey dragon's shadow appeared behind him, swirling in the sky. Ashes fell from the heavens, filling the air with a bleak atmosphere. "My Dharma idol is called the Dragon of Desolation. It enhances my physique, weakens enemies, and grants self-healing abilities. It's especially effective against the Blood Clan. If anyone needs help hunting Blood Clan members, feel free to ask me." Once oppressed by level 1 Blood Clan members, Hog had now transformed into their nemesis, a true reversal of fortune. The Thousand Illusion Knight said enviously, "I'm so jealous." She was still at the peak of level 2, yet to break through the barrier to level 3. Now our knights have 2 4th level knights. Everyone, keep pushing forward. The Dharma idols within your bloodlines are waiting for you to unlock them, representing a vast treasure trove, Levi encouraged with a smile. Next came the routine exchange of training insights and answering questions. Currently, in terms of wizardry, the knights had Levi, a 5th circle wizard, and 100 Flowers, a primordial soul wizard, to resolve their doubts. Their teaching strength was comparable to top-tier organizations, offering one-on-one guidance. As for knightly training, Levi was a master. Many of the breathing techniques practiced by the members were ones he had mastered long ago, so he knew them thoroughly. After the meeting, Levi returned to his regular training routine. Months later, through the combined efforts of Levi and the Holy Infant, the Book of the Undead finally advanced to a 5th circle wizard tool. Levi opened the book, which previously had only 100 pages. Now, it boasted 1,000 pages, with 900 still blank. This meant that theoretically, the 5th circle Book of the Undead could house 1,000 undead spirits. Even if all were level 1, it was a terrifying number. Releasing them all at once would be enough to overwhelm even a seasoned 5th circle wizard. Levi recited an incantation. The headless swordsman appeared before him. According to the Book of the Undead, this level 4 peak undead spirit had reached a bottleneck. As a hell creature, it needed to journey to hell to advance to the 5th level. The ancient tower could connect to hell through spells, otherwise, summoning focused wizards from the School of Death would be significantly weaker. After giving some instructions, the headless swordsman departed. With the Book of the Undead linking them, Levi could monitor the swordsman's movements and wasn't worried about it getting lost. Once it returned, Levi would have a 5th level undead spirit. Chapter 1262, Killing All Dragon Abominations. Dark Ancient Tower. Io Continent, West Coast. Deep Blue Organization was holding its annual Deep Blue Organization meeting. Snow Lotus Witch arrived early and sat upright. Not long after, everyone had arrived. Opposite Snow Lotus Witch was the number 1 genius of the Letni family, Golden Light Wizard, Gilgar. Golden Light Wizard looked calm on the surface, but his heart was extremely gloomy. Not long ago, the soul tablet of Wizard Gabriel from the family, who was second only to him in the younger generation, shattered. All the other wizards who were with Gabriel were also dead. After his investigation, he found out that on the day Gabriel was killed, a dragon abomination appeared at the Thunder Punishment Tribunal and killed a level 5 archmage. This was recorded by the Supreme Eye. Therefore, he was initially certain that it was the dragon abomination who killed Gabriel. According to the spies he had planted in the Thunder Divine Hall, he also learned that on that day, the Thunder Wizards of the Thunder Divine Tower had also fallen. His strength was not much different from Gabriel's. Thus, Gilgar guessed that the situation at that time was like this. For some unknown reason, the dragon abomination had raided the Thunder Punishment Tribunal. After discovering that there were wizards coming, he hid. After the appearance of the Thunder Wizards and Gabriel, both sides fought because of the Thunder Elemental Spirit, and both sides suffered heavy losses. The despicable and shameless dragon abomination took advantage of the moment when both sides were heavily injured to launch a sneak attack, cruelly killing everyone. In this mission, the Letni family suffered a double loss. They did not obtain the Thunder Elemental Spirit and even lost a 5th circle genius. After the meeting began, all parties expressed their opinions on the future plans of the organization. When it was the Letni family's turn to speak, the Golden Light Wizard said, "Everyone, in order to maximize the benefits of our wizard civilization, I propose that we cooperate with the 9 Cities Alliance and other wizard organizations. We will first clear the foreign tribes on the 5th level, then compete internally. Right now, the Amethyst race is extremely united among the foreign forces, and it is difficult to fight them head-on. Therefore, I suggest that we start with the Dragon Abomination. We should first join forces and search for and eliminate all the Dragon Abominations." After the Golden Light Wizard finished speaking, the rest of the Letni family echoed. That makes sense. That was what the Wizard Council suggested before the ancient tower was opened. Indeed, most of the Dragon Abominations fight by themselves and are very easy to deal with. That's right. This suggestion received the support of most people. Snow Lotus Witch said, "It's not a problem to eliminate the Dragon Abominations. But Io is so big. How are we going to find all of them?" Golden Light Wizard replied, dragon abominations hate normal dragon clans the most. Every time it encounters them, it will tear them apart and eat their flesh and blood. We only need to find some mixed blood dragon clans and use them as bait to set up arrays and traps. We will send experts to ambush them and then spread the news on the Io continent to lure the dragon abominations into taking the bait, and then we kill them one by one. Dragon abomination is a monster with well-developed limbs but no rationality. As long as we wizards get serious, eliminating dragon abomination is not difficult. When Snow Lotus heard his explanation, she said, "It sounds feasible. However, a dragon abomination is generally very powerful. I'm afraid that this will cause us to burn ourselves by playing with fire." The Golden Light Wizard sneered, "The witch's family is not good at fighting. It's understandable that you're afraid of the dragon abominations. But our Letni family isn't afraid. Under the brilliant golden lightning, any evil will be eradicated regardless of their fearful reputation." Hearing that her organization had been mocked, the Snow Lotus Witch frowned slightly and did not say anything else. In a head-on battle, she was indeed not a match for the Golden Light Wizard. However, she felt that this move was a little inappropriate. After some discussion, Deep Blue Organization decided to lobby the Nine Cities Alliance first. The leader of the younger generation of the Nine Cities Alliance, the Fire Dragon Destroyer, hated anything related to dragons. He would most likely be happy to slaughter the dragon abominations. Nine Cities Alliance. At the top of Skyfire Fortress, Simon sat there, enjoying the breeze. The red streamers danced in the wind, making fluttering sounds. He received a message from the Deep Blue Organization. Working together to kill dragon abominations? Interesting, this idea is not bad. He leaped and disappeared in the air. When he reappeared, he was already in the underground prison of the Skyfire Fortress. As a war fortress, the prison here was divided into 6 levels. The first 5 levels suppressed enemies from level 1 to level 5. The 6th level was for possible level 6 enemies, but it was still vacant. From time to time, he could see all kinds of foreign races in the cells on both sides. They were not killed but were bound by the arrays and chains in the cells. They had been enslaved, and their power had been drawn away by the array to be used for the operation of the Skyfire Fortress. At critical moments, they would be released as cannon fodder on the battlefield. There were some prisons that imprisoned all sorts of transcendent creatures, including some mixed blood dragons whose strength ranged from level 1 to level 4. Simon came to the 5th floor. There were obviously fewer prisoners here. With a gloomy expression, he arrived at a huge prison in the deepest part of the prison. He sat cross-legged. In the prison in front of him, there was a giant beast that was as tall as a mountain. The giant beast was covered in black scales and emitted a burning sulfur smell. It was like a giant lizard, standing on its hind legs. It was 30 stories tall, and its thick tail supported the ground. Its 4 limbs were relatively short. It was riddled with wounds, and its body was full of holes. There were tubes inserted into the wounds to extract the extremely hot black blood. Its eyes were filled with anger, like a volcano that was about to erupt. Chapter 1263, Imprisoned Black Lotus Beast. "Why are you looking at me like that?" Simon laughed mockingly. "I have no enmity with you. Why do you want to capture me?" This hill-sized black-scaled giant beast could actually talk to wizards directly. Generally speaking, this was something that only pure-blooded dragons or sub-dragons that had advanced to level 6 could do. Simon's eyes were cold and he replied indifferently, "Because you are part of the dragon clan. All members of the dragon clans are my enemies." "Then why didn't you kill me?" asked the black-scaled giant beast. "You are a rare black lotus beast, known as the strongest sub-dragon in the multidimensional plane. It would be a pity to kill you. In the wizard world, who knows how many wizards want your bloodline essence?" Simon laughed mockingly. The black lotus beast did not say anything else. It hated itself for not being able to grow up quickly. It hated these cunning wizards for setting up a trap and ambushing it, but did not dare to fight it openly. "If I regain my freedom one day, I will tear you apart with my own hands and turn you into ashes with my breath. I wonder if you've heard of dragon abomination." Simon ignored the black lotus beast's threat and stood up. The black lotus beast's expression changed slightly. It had naturally heard of dragon abomination. Dragon abomination was an irrational and deformed monster born from a pure-blooded dragon clan and powerful foreign races. It is more powerful than dragon descendants and mixed-blood dragon clans. Just like the humans in front of them, the dragon abominations hated all dragon clans and took pleasure in killing members of the dragon clans. Soon, you will have the opportunity to meet the most powerful and bloodthirsty dragon abominations on Io continent. But don't worry, I won't let you die, because you are my most important bait. Ha 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 ha. Simon laughed wildly and left the prison, leaving the Black Lotus beast standing in the shadow. Even if it is as strong as it is, it cannot help but despair at this moment. Does the Black Lotus clan really have no future? Year 1198 of the Holy Brilliance, month of the Furnace. Dragon Palace Island. 8 Heavenly Dragon Prison. Transcendent creatures were either practicing or sleeping in it. After further adjustments by Levi, 8 Heavenly Dragon Prison welcomed version 2.0. The Grand Array now could be activated at any time for defense when encountering foreign enemies. In normal times, in the Grand Array, the daily living environment can be simulated for various transcendent creatures, and the elemental power needed for their practice or growth can be gathered. It can be said that this is a hell for enemies and a paradise for transcendent creatures. Peak level 4 sub-dragons such as Dragon Turtle Ratty might be able to break through to level 5 faster in the Dead Sea Hell. With this, the research work on the 8 Heavenly Dragon Prison came to an end. Levi did not stop but instead continued to study other subjects. After advancing to the 5th Circle Realm, Levi found that he had too many things to do. In addition to normal meditation art and breathing technique practice, there are also a lot of problems left over from before that he had to deal with. For example, the practice of body tempering technique, the upgrading and repair of Alice's ring as well as other wizard tools. Fortunately, he had already advanced to the 5th Circle Realm, so he no longer needed to rush to break through. Thus, he planned to spend a few years checking for leaks and filling them. In the way of spiritual practice, one cannot rush for success. Time flies, and more than half a year has passed. Year 1199 of the Holy Brilliance Calendar, month of flowers. Year 34 of the Dark Ancient Tower Calendar. After a long period of cultivation, Levi's gargoyle body tempering technique had finally reached the perfection of a 4-circle body refining wizard. Levi. Gargoyle body tempering technique, level 8, maximum, breakthrough available. Special effect, stone statue body. With a thought, countless grey body refining runes flashed on the surface of his body, and dense earth elemental power surged into them. In the next moment, Levi's body began to turn to stone. He stood on the spot, motionless. From the outside, he looked like a statue. His face was like an ugly bat, and the demonic wings on his back were folded. The gargoyle body tempering technique was a body refining technique that imitated the abyss demons. One of the most prominent characteristics of the gargoyles was that they were similar to the amethyst race. They had spell immunity, but it was a low-level version. But even so, because of this characteristic, gargoyles had been voted as the most disgusting abyss demon by wizards for many years. In the gargoyle form, the damage dealt to Levi by all elemental spells would be significantly reduced. However, against physical attacks, there was no special immunity effect. Instead, because it was relatively brittle and lacked toughness, it caused Levi's physical defense to be relatively weaker. Levi opened his proficiency panel. His deep blue body tempering technique had already reached the perfection of the 4th circle. However, he did not break through immediately because he was waiting for the gargoyle. Now that the two body tempering techniques had reached perfection, it was time to merge them. Several days later, the grey runes of the gargoyle body tempering technique were devoured by the blue runes of the deep blue body tempering technique, and the blue runes turned green. Green runes flickered on Levi's body, making him look like he was made of bronze or a terracotta soldier that had just been unearthed. On his back, a pair of green demon wings that shone with a metallic luster appeared. After merging the body tempering technique, Levi opened his proficiency panel. Levi. Bronze statue body tempering technique, rank 9, 1/150,000. Special effect, bronze statue body. Bronze statue body, increases all aspects of the body's attributes such as strength, physique, defense, speed, and so on. Possesses a physical ability that is stronger than a gargoyle's, as well as terrifying poison. Strong immunity to thunder, frost, poison, and other negative energy corrosion. The bronze statue body has two special forms, rock demon and water ghost. In the rock demon form, strength, defense, and spell resistance are increased. In the water ghost form, speed, physique, toughness, and physical damage reduction are increased. The two forms can be switched freely. Chapter 1264, Testing Rock Demon and Water Ghost. Within Levi's body, countless tiny toxic swarm emerged, and they had already fused perfectly with body refining runes. In the next moment, as the spell power surged into the body refining runes, the surface of the toxic swarm began to gather with the power of the earth element. They were like cells that piled up together and instantly formed a pitch-black rock demon giant. The rock demon giant had wings on its back, and its body seemed to be covered in scales. Then, he flapped his wings and flew out of the 8 heavenly dragon prison array. Gangster. Levi called him over to test the might of the 5th circle bronze statue body tempering technique. Gangster immediately understood and charged forward with a roar. Levi did not use any night techniques and allowed the rock demon giant and Gangster to collide. Boom! The rock demon giant clashed with the sub-dragon with its body. The next moment, the rock demon giant and Gangster were sent flying. Many scales on Gangster's body were shattered, and blood flowed out. On the other hand, although the rock demon was also injured, it was not obvious. With just his physical strength, he's slightly stronger than the sub-dragon species. Not bad, not bad. In terms of defense, he's not inferior to my current golden snake scale. With a thought, his rock demon form changed to water ghost form. The hard surface of the giant's body seemed to be made of liquid, turning into a bronze-colored monster. You 3 brothers, charge together, Levi said indifferently. As soon as he finished speaking, the 3 brothers all rushed over. In his water ghost form, Levi had completely turned into a lump of rubber, or perhaps a large slime. He was shattered into pieces by the 3 brothers' collision. The 3 brothers were so scared that they quickly stopped, afraid that they would kill their master. These fragments trembled, and in the blink of an eye, they gathered together to form a liquid body again. Not only that, the water ghost suddenly evaporated and turned into a dense green mist giant, attacking the 3 brothers. Continue, said Levi. The 3 brothers once again fought against the mist giant. With their breath attacks and earthquake waves, the fog began to thin visibly. It could be seen that the water ghost form was not completely invincible, but it was obvious that the water ghost was more difficult to deal with than the rock demon. The fog giant's attack was accompanied by intense poison. The toxic swarm corroded the scales on the 3 brothers' bodies on a microscopic level, leaving traces of rust. At the same time, the giant's right arm suddenly solidified and turned into a bronze fist. It smashed onto the corroded scales. The next moment, the scales were easily shattered into pieces, revealing the bloody flesh underneath. Levi stopped his attacks and applied some ointment on the 3 brothers. He also rewarded them with a large pile of gold, silver, and jewelry as compensation for their training. The 3 brothers cried out in pain as they left happily. In fact, if the 3 brothers were to attack with their full strength, just using water ghost alone would not be able to defeat them. However, that would seem to lack the wisdom of the workplace. After the 3 brothers joined the Dragon Palace, they learned a lot from experienced employees like Raja. Looking at the water ghost in front of him, Levi was in a good mood. The rock demon form has inherited the high magic resistance characteristic of the gargoyle. It is suitable for physical combat with the spellcaster class. As for the water ghost form, it has inherited the characteristic of the poisonous fog that can gather and disperse irregularly. It can perform dimensional reduction attacks on enemies that mainly use physical attacks. Then, Levi had this body tempering clone fly as far away as possible. When he was 1,000 miles away, the body refining clone suddenly shattered and scattered into countless toxic swarm, which automatically returned to Levi's body. After 5th circle, the body tempering clone can be further away from my main body. Within 1,000 miles, I can control the body tempering clone freely. This way, it's much more convenient. I can adapt to the situation and perform some tricks. After a series of tests, it seemed that the combined combat power of the body tempering clone was not inferior to the Holy Infant clone, and might even be a little stronger. In this way, I can transform into 3 bodies: body tempering clone, spellcasting clone, and night body. If I continue to level up in the future, this body tempering clone might become a tool that could cultivate the body tempering technique alone, just like the Holy Infant. This way, I can relax a lot. Levi was doing a simple deduction, gradually separating out some of the less important functions, allowing his main body to focus on breathing techniques, meditation art, and important knowledge research. After all, he had learned too many things. It could be said that he had lived until now without the slightest chance to catch his breath. As long as the main body had absolute control, no matter how powerful the 2 avatars were, they would only be tools and would not usurp the main body. From the looks of it now, the bronze statue body tempering technique should be at the premium level among the primordial soul body tempering techniques. The panel can break the legendary shackles that bind knights. It's not impossible to break the shackles of body refinement and become a ninth circle body refining wizard. After putting away his clone, Levi returned to his closed-door cultivation. Leon was sleeping soundly not far away. After eating so many level 5 souls with Levi in the ancient tower, Leon's strength also increased. After returning from the Thunder Basin, he had fallen into a deep sleep. According to Levi's previous observations, this situation meant that Leon was about to advance. One more step and he would be at level 5. Now, Leon was no longer a so-called Zerg, but a magical existence that even Levi could not see through. I wonder how Leon will change after advancing to level 5. Chapter 1265, Saved by Sodaros. Levi was looking forward to it. He was not too worried that Leon would lose control. All this time, he had been using his Dreamland ability to give Leon psychological hints. Coupled with the fact that they had been together for such a long time, their relationship had become deeper and deeper. Leon had become as dependent on Levi as a father. Even if he took a step back, he still had an empty Scarlet contract slot. If Leon really lost control, he could still forcefully contract him. Just as he was about to continue cultivating, a change occurred in Levi's mind. Besides the 7-colored crystal were 2 wizard tools. The first was the Circle of Ouroboros, and the second was the Book of the Undead. These were both top-grade 5th circle wizard tools, so they were qualified to enter Levi's mind. At this moment, the Book of the Undead suddenly opened and automatically went to the page of the Headless Swordsman. An image appeared in Levi's mind. Hell, 5th level. The sky was dark, the earth was vast, and the aura of death lingered. In the wilderness, a handsome swordsman with short black hair was fighting a demon with a long, slender neck and a snake head. Seeing this, Levi's expression changed. He murmured, "This is the Purgatory Snake Demon. It looks like the Headless Swordsman is in trouble." The handsome black-haired swordsman was a headless swordsman who had advanced to level 5. For some reason, his head had grown out. The Purgatory Snake Demon was a powerful existence among the Hell Devils. The one before the Headless Swordsman should have the strength of a duke. The Headless Swordsman had just advanced to level 5, and Levi estimated that he should not be a match for the Snake Demon Duke. Now that the Headless Swordsman was in battle, Levi could not use the Book of the Undead to summon him back. As a summoner, he was the beacon for the Headless Swordsman to return from Hell. If he used a spell to go to Hell, he would lose his way in this ancient tower. In the end, he and the Headless Swordsman would be left behind in Hell. Even if he came out of Hell, he would most likely return to another prime material plane, such as Nora. He might not be able to return to a special place like the ancient tower. The only solution was to let the Holy Infant enter Hell and die there, then resurrect from the ancient tower. However, it would take a year for the Holy Infant. While Levi was still hesitating, a half-naked man wearing black armor and holding a demonic sword suddenly appeared on the screen. The Snake Demon Duke, who was suppressing the Headless Swordsman, was cut in half at the waist by a stunning black sword light. The Snake Demon Duke was still trying to recover his powerful physique, but the black-armored man reached out and blasted out endless black flames, turning him into ashes. He took out the charred skull of the Snake Demon Duke from the flames, blew at the ashes on it, and wrapped it around his waist. The heads of 9 Demon Dukes were wrapped around his waist. He took out the wine pot at his waist and gulped it down. He even handed it to the black-haired swordsman who was stunned. The black-haired swordsman shook his head. In the next moment, a hexagram array appeared under his feet. Then, he turned into light and disappeared from Hell. When he reappeared, he was already on the 100th page of the Book of the Undead. Level 5 Undead Spirit, Headless Swordsman. Ability, Ghost Cry / Spectre's Body. He already has a head. It's not appropriate to call him a Headless Swordsman. Levi summoned the black-haired swordsman. At this moment, his spirit body was more solid than when he was at level 4. His aura was definitely at the level of a level 5, but it was not stable enough. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been defeated by the Devil Duke. Master. The black-haired swordsman suddenly spoke. It seemed that he could speak, but previously he didn't have a head so he couldn't speak. "What's your name?" asked Levi. Generally speaking, anyone who could become a level 5 undead spirit in Hell should have been an expert when they were alive. The souls of mortals were either reduced to food in Hell or returned to the underworld to be reborn. I can't remember," replied the handsome black-haired swordsman. Then you'll be called Jerry from now on, Levi said calmly. All right, it's up to you, master, said Jerry. Jerry, did you learn your sword technique yourself, or did someone teach you, asked Levi. Jerry replied, to me, using sword skills is my instinct. In the past half a year, I've been hunting undead creatures. I've made some breakthroughs in my undying slash. If I had more time to train, I would definitely be able to kill the snake demon Duke. By the way, do you know that person just now, asked Levi. Jerry shook his head and said, I don't know him. He said that his name is Demon Sword Dragon Wizard Sorcerer, the #1 swordsman in the wizard world. He invited me to compete with him. Before I could respond, you summoned me back. All right, you lead the other undead spirits to guard the shadow hell, said Levi. All right. Levi put away the Book of the Undead. From his observation, the black-armored swordsman was definitely a dragon descendant. To be able to kill so many devil dukes, he must be at least a 5th circle senior wizard. Otherwise, he wouldn't have dared to act so brazenly in the 5th level of hell. Judging from the magic sword in his hand, there were traces of magic runes. It seemed that he was indeed a wizard. However, Levi had never heard of the #1 swordsman in the world in the wizard world. The dragon descendant wizards who refined their bodies even created powerful sword skills. The wizard world is full of crouching tigers and hidden dragons. Levi could not help but sigh. He had a feeling that even if he used the 6 heavenly gods, he might not be able to win. Sorcerer was a true top-notch genius. He was much stronger than people like Gabriel. Chapter 1266, Demon Sword Dragon Wizard. Levi did not know that he was the one who had impersonated the black-armored swordsman in the dragonfly wizard's eyes. The 5th level of hell. In the wilderness. Demon Sword Dragon Wizard looked at the sky alone in a daze. It's not easy to meet a swordsman of the same level, but it's a summoned creature of the school of death of thought. Damn it, why can't I let him stay a little longer and spar with me with sword skills before leaving? He felt a little regretful. He loved the sword as much as his life. Although he was a wizard, he had always focused on studying the sword. Relying on his purgatory demon sword path, he had killed many abominations since he entered hell. He had even killed 9 dukes. His expression changed as he looked into the distance. In the sky, a fat devil duke led a group of devil earls and an army of undead to attack. Swordsman over there, surrender quickly. How dare you cause trouble in hell? I, the duke, will capture you today in the name of the prince and torture you in hell. The demon sword dragon wizard's face was full of disdain. He smiled and pressed his hand on the long sword. A peak level 5 duke? I can use you to test my new sword technique. The tremendous force that could move mountains and overturn seas, as well as the surging spell power, all surged into the black flame great sword in his hand. These two powers were ingeniously fused together. This was the Purgatory Demon Sword Path that he had created. Purgatory Demon Path, Black King 9 slashes. The moment he drew his sword, he had already slashed out 9 times in a row. The 9 dragons' sword chi that were burning with black flames were like a windmill as they spun and tore the world apart. Boom! After a sword strike, the army behind the Duke retreated several miles, but the Duke remained unmoved. He used his body to resist the sword chi. 9 hideous wounds appeared on the Duke's indestructible body. Fat oil was oozing out of them. The black flames burned him, and the pain was unbearable. It hurts. You actually managed to injure me, are you prepared to die? As he grinned hideously, he extended his huge palm and slapped in the direction of the demon sword dragon wizard. Before the giant palm landed, the ground had already begun to crack. The demon sword dragon wizard slashed out with his ultimate sword. Purgatory Demon Path Dreadful Mad Dragon. He was like a lunatic who had actually taken on a perfected 5th circle cultivator head-on. The earth split apart, and an unruly black dragon broke out of the ground and collided with the giant palm. The shockwave swept out. The demon sword dragon wizard watched as the giant dragon shattered, and its incomplete giant palm pressed down. He could not help but sigh, it's still not enough. This fat pig should be the strongest duke below the prince. He's even stronger than the 5th circle wizards I've seen. Under the terrifying pressure, his entire body turned into flames and fused into the black flame sword in his hand. I'm sorry, I'm not ready to die yet. I'll retreat first. The long sword broke through the void and disappeared. The fat duke roared in anger. He was also a big shot with a reputation. Now that he was being played by a junior, he was furious. Report to the prince immediately. This invader possesses a treasure that can shatter space and escape. We need to mobilize a level 6 existence to capture him. Dark Ancient Tower. West Ocean, Dragon Palace Island. After swordsman Jerry advanced to the 5th circle, Levi would spar with him from time to time to hone their sword skills. As the saying goes, when 3 people walk together, one of them will be my teacher. He decided to continue to take advantage of Jerry and master his Ghost Cry Slash. Then, he would create the second move of the Heavenly Dragon Sword Codex. It was not that Levi's comprehension of the sword path was lacking, but that he was too busy, so he did not have enough time to study the sword path. Practicing the sword, meditation, body tempering technique, breathing technique, and rune language, were Levi's main homework. Then, he focused on the alchemy blueprint of the Kulkan Feathered Serpent. Holy Infant continued to refine talismans. He was not far away from making level 4 talismans. After Holy Infant reached level 4 of talisman crafting, he would be able to travel around Io. Time passed while he was cultivated. Unknowingly, another year had passed. Year 1200 of the Holy Brilliance calendar, the month of beginning. Year 35 of the Dark Ancient Tower calendar. This year, Levi was 210 years old. The 99th round table meeting of the Twilight Knights was held. While studying the Kulkan Feathered Serpent, Levi went online for a meeting and waited for his team members to arrive. The first to appear was actually the Flower Knight. "You're level 3 now?" asked Levi. 100 Flowers smiled and replied, "I just broke through not long ago. I'm consolidating my realm. I have some questions about night cultivation. I want to consult you after the meeting." "Congratulations!" Levi was overjoyed. Not long after, the other knights arrived one after another and reported to Levi about the development of the ancient Saint Plane and the recent situation in the human realm. The meeting ended. Flower Knight asked and spoke to Levi for a long time about her cultivation confusion. Levi also told her everything he knew and asked her some questions about wizard cultivation. The two of them chatted until the next day, but they still wanted to continue their conversation. "I can see that you haven't been very busy recently, 100 Flowers," Levi smiled. "With my strength, I can't enter the 8th level, so I might as well stroll around the 7th level slowly. I'm a very open-minded person," said the Flower Knight. "That's true," replied Levi. "I met Sorit a few days ago. His strength has improved again. With his talent, his primordial soul might not be complete, but it should not be a problem," said 100 Flowers. Levi thought that if Sorit could attain perfection in his 5th circle realm in the future, Sorit would become a capable general. After bidding farewell to 100 Blossoms, Levi returned to the weapon refinement room. Chapter 1267, White Robe Wizard Association. Phoenix was burning the fire, while Holy Infant was in charge of inserting alchemy runes and making alchemy accessories. Levi came here and took over the Holy Infant's work, continuing to refine the Canker Feathered Serpent. Refining this feathered serpent had consumed a total of 100 pounds of mist sand, as well as other precious materials. It could be said that he had invested a lot. Now, he could already see the embryonic form of a huge snake that was about 10 meters long. On the back of the serpent, there were 2 wings that emitted a metallic luster. This alchemical creature was much more valuable than those 5th circle wizard tools. Levi had spent a lot of effort and energy. 3 months later, as the various alchemy components were assembled, a giant green serpent appeared in front of Levi. The giant serpent coiled, its wings folded, and its eyes were dull. Levi exhaled and muttered, "It took nearly 2 years to complete the refinement. Compared to the Tyrant series, it's much more difficult." There were already several types of level 5 alchemy style and miniature arrays on this giant serpent, not to mention level 4 ones. In the mouth of the feathered snake was the air cannon launcher that Levi had modified. The value of this launcher was equivalent to that of a 5th circle ordinary wizard tool. This was also the main attack method of the feathered serpent. The feathered serpent's regular energy source still relied on the automatic charging of level 5 wind-type metals like the mist sand, which was enough for short-term battles and daily operations. As for the backup energy, it was the Etherstone fuel tank, which was used for prolonged battles and seed explosions. Apart from that, Thunder Rock could also act as the pilot of the feathered serpent, but the effect was not as good as the wind elemental spirit. Now, Levi had 18 million Etherstones on him. With his battle frequency, the feathered serpent would not be able to consume much. Levi chanted an incantation, and the feathered serpent's eyes lit up. It began to circle and fly into the air. He brought the feathered serpent and appeared in the sky. At the same time, he released the Hast Eagle and let Phoenix pilot it. The two steel objects collided, sending out a terrifying shockwave. The sound of metal clashing could be heard endlessly. The giant eagle flapped its wings, and thousands of wind blades and fire blades shot out. The feathered serpent spread its wings, and a vortex of air that covered a radius of about a mile was formed. After those attacks entered the vortex, the rhythm was completely disrupted. The feathered serpent spat out an air cannon. Boom! Ordinary fifth circle wizards did not dare to take the power of a cannon that consumed nearly 10,000 ether stones head-on. The giant eagle used its wings to block, but it was directly sent flying, and many of its feathers were blown off. Levi hurriedly stopped the feathered serpent's attack. The quality of this giant eagle is not good, and the materials are not good enough. I have to refine it again myself. The combination of the feathered serpent and the giant eagle is enough to defeat most of the ordinary fifth circle wizards. When the Mesh's winged dragon finishes the refinement and combined with the three wind gods, this can even win against a fifth circle senior wizard. Levi was in a good mood. He brought the damaged eagle to the refining room and asked the Holy Infant to be responsible for the maintenance and modification. He continued to focus on his cultivation. Io continent. To the north of the Holy Fire Plateau, adjacent to the Eastern Sea, there was a huge inland lake with a radius of tens of thousands of miles. It was called the Sea of Stars by the natives. The surface of the lake was covered in clouds and mist, and there were scattered islands that looked like stars. The Sea of Stars was the only large intersection that had not been occupied by a top-tier wizard organization. A few years ago, the small wizard guilds, the fifth circle wizards of the wizard organizations, and some fifth circle wizards who were nomadic wizards all joined forces. They formed a large-scale wizard alliance called the White Robe Wizard Association. There were many founders of the White Robe Wizard Association, and many of them were quite famous in the Io continent. For example, the Blue Dragon Lady and the Red Dragon Queen from the Dragon Descendant Priory, and Wizard Wildbone from the School of Death. At present, the White Robe Wizard Association has a total of more than 30 fifth circle wizards. There were 5 wizards with perfected fifth circle. The first was the representative of the nomadic wizards, the Red Bone Wizard. Second was the chief commander of the Fire Bull family, Wizard Farah. Third was the leader of the Alchemy Union, Sam Silverbeard. Fourth was the president of the Psychic Society, Madam Magic. Last was a dragon wizard who was said to have lived for more than 1,000 years, the Rust Dragon Wizard. These 5 were collectively known as the 5 White-Robed Elders in the Sea of Stars. Relying on the deterrence of the 5 White-Robed Elders, the Sea of Stars became a holy land for the weak in the wizard world. In just a few years, they had gathered a force that could not be ignored in Io. On this day, in the Sea of Stars, a fifth circle wizard arrived, panting heavily. He was wearing a white robe and had white hair. He was the Arctic Wizard. The guards of the Sea of Stars were 2 fourth circle nomadic wizards. "Senior, may I know your name? Would you like to join the White Robe Wizard Association?" they asked hurriedly after sensing the vast mental strength of the Arctic Wizard. "Yes," the Arctic Wizard smiled bitterly and sighed. Not long ago, his Starfall Wizard Market had been taken over by the 9 Cities Alliance. He didn't want to join them and work for others, so he could only flee in panic. In the end, he asked around and found out about such a place. "All right, I'll bring Senior to meet the 5 elders. We need the approval of 3 of the 5 elders before anyone can join our White Robes Magus Association," the guard explained. "All right, everything will be done according to the rules of the organization." It did not take long for the Arctic Wizard to meet 3 of the 5 elders. They were Wizard Silverbeard, Wizard Farah, and the Rust Dragon Wizard. He could not help but feel his spirit jolt when he sensed waves of spiritual force at the perfected fifth circle realm. He had been cultivating for 800 years. Not long ago, he had just grasped the second fifth circle talent and barely stepped into the fifth circle senior realm. However, it was still a long way off for him to reach perfection in the fifth circle realm. After some communication, the Arctic Wizard successfully passed the interview and joined. For the newly established White Robe Wizard Association, they also needed a fifth circle senior wizard like the Arctic Wizard to hold the fort. After finding the organization, the Arctic Wizard strolled around the encampment. As he walked, he came to the center of the lake. There was a small island here called Gondaf Island. This was where the 5 elders discussed matters. The guard explained that this was set up to commemorate the White Robe Wizard Gondaf who had saved the lives of dozens of nomadic wizards. The name of the White Robe Wizard Association also came from this incident. After asking around, the Arctic wizard learned that Gandalf himself had not joined the Wizard Association. However, the wizards needed a soul figure as a symbol. After a round of selection, Gandalf, who was once famous in the Kane Empire and was known as the Light of the Nomadic Wizards, was elected. On the island, a tall and sturdy statue of Gandalf with white hair stood there. He had white hair, a deep gaze, and was filled with wisdom. He had a kind expression and a friendly smile. On the base of the statue, there were words engraved. Saving people from distress, the heart of a ranger, not afraid of power, the light of nomadic wizards. Chapter 1268, Talking to Owens. Year 1200 of the Holy Brilliance Calendar, month of harvest. On the sea around Dragon Palace Island, the two swordsmen moved in the air like peregrines, extremely fast and agile. The long swords clashed, and crackling sounds exploded. Compared to the magnificent spells of a wizard, their attack looked simple and unadorned, just ordinary saber flashes and sword shadows. However, occasionally, a sword light would fall on the surface of the sea or the clouds. It was enough to stir up huge waves and shatter the clouds. It was enough to see its terrifying power. The two swordsmen were Jerry and Levi. Jerry's ghost crying slash was fast like the wind, as fast as a phantom, and as clear as a ghost. Levi's crimson dragon in the sky, opening slash, and Mount Hawa splitting force were so brilliant that one could not look straight at them. As the two of them clashed, invisible shock waves swept across wherever they passed. "Master, I can't move anymore." Jerry stopped after a long time. He was panting heavily. "Let's go back," Levi said as he put away the crimson dragon slash. Ever since Jerry reached level 5, Levi had been sparring with him on sword techniques occasionally. He only used his most basic physical fitness and sword skills. He did not use his Dharma idol or other special skills. With this, Jerry could even fight Levi to a draw with his superb sword skills. Looking at Jerry's back, Levi muttered in his heart, Jerry must have been a genius in sword arts when he was alive. Levi could feel Jerry's endless potential. He focused on the sword and placed his emotions on it. Levi had once shared some of the sword skills he had obtained with Jerry. At its most exaggerated, Jerry could almost do it at a glance. Levi had to admit that his sword skill talent was not as good as Jerry's. Sigh, without the panel, I'm just an ordinary person who's lucky, talented, and a little afraid of death. That's why I have to be more cautious and steady. Seeing Jerry, Levi thought of Owens, whom he had not contacted for a long time. He stretched out his palm and saw a bunch of fate coins shining. The pattern of the Death Ember Dragon was carved on it. In the middle of the pile of fate coins, there were several purple coins, which looked gorgeous. These purple coins were contributed by the level 5 existences that Levi had killed. Levi flicked his finger and a fate coin flew into the sky. Unyielding silver seat Owens. Boom! Accompanied by the explosion of golden light, a figure suddenly appeared. Who are we going to fight this time? In the years that you've forgotten me, I've comprehended 124 new sword techniques and thousands of variations. Owens appeared, pulled out his silver sword, and looked left and right, but he couldn't see the enemy. I'm not fighting anyone. I'm just checking to see if you're still alive, Levi smiled and said. Owens sensed Levi's aura and his expression changed. How did you become stronger? Levi smiled and teased, how are you? Are you still a 4th stage grey swordsman? Can you do it? Windmill Village's #1 swordsman. Owens was dejected when he heard that. He sighed and said, 5th stage grey swordsman? That's difficult. In the history of our Windmill Village, there has never been a 5th stage powerhouse. Take these fate coins and cultivate. I hope you can break through to the 5th stage soon and become the first person in Windmill Village to achieve that, said Levi. Owens rubbed the back of his head. He held a pile of fate coins in his hands. He couldn't close his mouth. Then, he smiled foolishly and said, it's not good to not accept a reward without merit. Take it. When you reach 5th stage, I might need your help, said Levi. Thank you, buddy. When I reach the 5th stage you must summon me more often to fight. Only when one is close to death can one comprehend the true essence of sword skills. Owens said in a profound tone as though he was ready to get himself killed. There's one more thing, Levi shouted before Owens left. What is it? Other than you, are there any normal natives in the Ashen world? Be it humans or transcendent creatures, asked Levi. Owens shook his head and replied, I don't know. I haven't left Windmill Village for a long time. The outside world is full of powerful death fall. I'm afraid of death. Levi said, then after you advance to the 5th stage, go and take a look at the outside world if you are able to. I need you to help me find the descendant of a king. This king's true form should be a flaming dragon made of ashes. In our world, it's called the ash dragon, but in your world, there might be called something else. Owens looked at the fate coin and asked, does it look somewhat like this? Yes, but there are some differences. It should have no feathers. Its head is more like a traditional dragon and its entire body is covered in scales, said Levi. Leave it to me. Once I advance to the 5th stage, I'll leave Windmill Village, said Owens. After catching up with Owens, Owens stabbed himself in the heart. Goodbye, don't forget me, my friend, Owens said with anticipation in his eyes. He committed suicide and returned to the city. Don't worry, I won't forget. Levi waved his hand and watched Owens leave. He muttered to himself, sure enough, Owens can project from the Ashen world to this place. Apart from Owens, Levi did not encounter any other living beings in the Ashen world. All of them were death fall. According to his speculation, the Ashen world was a world that had been invaded by the Nightmare world. The Ash Dragon was once one of the kings of the Ashen world. Logically speaking, with the personality of a Dragon Clan member, the Ash Dragon might have a bloodline left behind in the Ashen world. The most important secret medicine for the Inferno Dragon breathing technique he cultivated was the Undying Bird secret medicine. This was the cornerstone of Levi's powerful undying ability. In this world, there should be no one who understood the meaning of undying more than the Undying Bird. Chapter 1269, New Wizard Tool Blueprint. The secondary secret medicine was the Ash Dragon, which was usually replaced by the Fire Dragon clan. For example, Nighthawk cultivated the ash breathing technique and used the flame blood rampage dragon that Levi had left behind in the ancient Saint Plain. Levi was thinking that if he could find the true bloodline of the ash dragon, he might be able to speed up the cultivation of some of the Death Ember dragons. Regardless of whether he could find it or not, it would not be wrong to try. Owens had nothing to do anyway, so he might as well make use of it. Levi had too many things to do and did not have the time to personally search for it in the Ashen world. After he finished practicing his sword skills, he returned to the island. In the 8 Heavenly Dragon prison, Ratty was like a sloth, slowly cultivating elemental power. When are you going to be level 5, Ratty? Asked Levi. Ratty hurriedly said, Master, it might take another 60 years. Levi nodded and did not rush Ratty. Ratty was already working hard enough, it was not like some lazy dragons from the Dragon Clan. All in all, the growth speed of transcendent creatures has indeed increased in the 8 Heavenly Dragon prison. In the weapon refinement room, Holy Infant focused on the experience of talisman crafting while supervising Phoenix. Phoenix's current task was to extract all the ores that Levi had obtained since he entered the ancient tower. This was a huge project that required many years of continuous work. In order to prevent Phoenix from committing suicide, Levi gave it a few rest days every year. During the rest days, Phoenix could go to Lightning Hell and have a date with Thunder Rock. It could also advance its vacation for the next few years. Of course, Levi did not want him to work for nothing. He promised that after he became stronger, he would lead Phoenix to become stronger. If he encountered a level 6 fire elemental spirit in the future, he would let Phoenix devour it. After the refinement was completed, Levi would start to classify the alchemical creatures and refine the 5th circle wizard tools. The alchemical creature was for the sake of Project Nick God. He did not forge a 5th circle wizard tool mainly for his own use. With his wealth of methods, most of the wizard tools were not of much use to him. He was refining it for the Holy Infant clone. The Holy Infant's talisman crafting skill would reach level 4 soon. At that time, Levi would send the Holy Infant out to travel around Io, asking for clues about the Holy Grail of immortality and looking for resources and opportunities. However, Holy Infant's methods were not as good as Levi's. In particular, his life-saving ability, which relied solely on the protective force field and the spells that came with the ball of secret fire, was far inferior to his original body. Levi wanted to fully equip Holy Infant before he left. Of course, whether it was Holy Infant or a wizard tool, Levi had to use his knowledge to leave a mark for tracking. If the Holy Infant encountered a strong enemy and died, he could not let others have all his equipment. At that time, he would have to take the equipment back. If the enemy had anti-tracking and anti-reconnaissance methods like Leon's, then Levi would be out of luck. In short, it was better to lose the wizard tool than to lose his own life. In the weapon refinement room. In front of Levi was a large pile of weapon refinement books. The Book of Noen, Augustine's Hammer. He calmed down and flipped through the books. In the Book of Noen, other than the secret fire sphere, the other two wizard tools were the secret fire sword and the secret fire armor, both of which were standard wizard tools. Levi was not very satisfied with the power of the standard wizard tool. This kind of wizard tool would only be of ordinary quality. Since he was going to refine it himself, he must craft a good grade wizard tool. It would be even better if it could be of the highest grade. However, top grade items could only be encountered by luck. The requirements for materials, knowledge, realm, and luck were high. With his newly attained 5th circle realm, he should not have high expectations. He flipped open Augustine's hammer. The blueprints of 4 types of 5th circle wizard tools were recorded on it. They were Lightning Wheel, Thunderstorm Divine Spear, Ancient Lightning Umbrella, and Lightning Pheasant Cape. Although these are not standard wizard tools, they are all from the Lightning faction. Levi read through the other weapon-making inheritance books. In the end, he frowned. There was no blueprint that suited his taste. Forget it. I'll just use my subjective initiative and refer to the existing blueprints to design my own original blueprints. This way, I can make full use of the materials I have. It's also a good opportunity to properly improve my refining skills. It's just spending more time. I'm only 200 years old, so there's no hurry. Levi already had a preliminary plan in mind. He wanted to design a set of wizard tools for the Holy Infant that could attack, defend, control, and escape. Holy Infant was most skilled in the Burning faction, and its power would be greatly reduced if it used the wizard tools of other factions. Therefore, all of these wizard tools must belong to the Burning faction. Next, apart from the necessary breathing techniques, he also cultivated meditation art. The rest of the time, Levi was in the weapon refinement room. It was very difficult to design a 5th circle blueprint on his own. It was a thankless task, and many 5th circle weapon craftsmen would not even try. However, this difficulty was still much lower than studying arrays. Levi could create a top-grade array like the 8 Heavenly Dragon Prison. It was only a matter of time before he created his own wizard tool blueprint. On Dragon Palace Island, time passed peacefully. On the other hand, the dark tide was surging in Io continent. Kane Empire. Chaos City. The Imperial City was also known as the Supreme Divine Capital. This was the cultural, economic, and political center of Io's human race. It was a God's authority country with a high degree of concentration of power. Chapter 1270, Black Beast Tide coming soon. The entire Chaos City had the aura of God's authority. The nearly 100 Chaos churches in the city, as well as the statues of the Archmage, were all examples. In the center of Chaos City, there was a steeple called the Archmage Tower. The Archmage Tower was thousands of meters tall, piercing into the clouds. It was a majestic sight. At the top of the Archmage Tower, there was a mysterious triangular white jade stone carving as a symbol. Add latest chapters at Freeobnovlo only. Within it, there was a majestic and holy eye that kept turning, scanning everything in Chaos City. The Supreme Archmage had many destructive and powerful divine weapons. Supreme Eye was one of them. Under his 24/7 surveillance, no evil within Chaos City could escape. The Supreme Eye would also record the appearance and characteristics of those who committed crimes in other parts of the Io continent. Then, the Church of Chaos would issue a bounty and put them on the wanted list of the whole country. Unfortunately, with the arrival of those despicable foreigners, it was obvious that the Supreme Eye was too busy. Foreigners were wanted every few days, causing the number of wanted people to exceed that of bounty hunters. There was no end to catching them. A few years ago, the Thunder Punishment Tribunal managed to capture a batch of them with great difficulty. In the end, they were disrupted by the unknown mage Gondif, and this caused the criminal to escape from prison and get away with it. After that incident, the Supreme Archmage ordered the removal of the Thunder Punishment and other torturous punishments. Anyone who encountered the evil mage would be killed on the spot. Under the Archmage Tower. On the bounty list, the name Evil Mage Gondif was in the top 20, on par with the demon and barbarian powerhouses who had been in Io for a long time. Other than that, there were also names such as Fire Child Mage and Undying Demon Dragon, which were also at the top. In the top 10, there were also geniuses from other top organizations. To wizards, the Io continent was their hunting ground and resource land. They didn't care about the native creatures on it. To the natives, these foreigners were like locusts. At the highest level of the Archmage Tower. Supreme Temple. White clouds drifted by and 12 supreme mages sat in front of the round table. On one side of the temple wall, there were 4 images of dragons of different shapes and sizes. In the middle of these dragons was a tall and sturdy human. He had 4 eyes, and through them, it was as if one could see the splitting of the earth, the eruption of volcanoes, the sweeping of storms, and the pouring of sea water. Lord Archmage. The 4-eyed human carved on the wall was the Supreme Archmage. The Supreme Archmage said, "According to my calculations, the black beasts that we have banished have already multiplied to the peak at the intersection of Io and the 4 seas. There will be a large black beast tide soon." Lightning Supreme Mage's expression changed and he asked, "Is the black beast tide coming again?" The Supreme Archmage replied, "That's right. We should give up on what we should give up next. We should concentrate our forces and defend the major cities. When the black beast tide passes, more than half of the foreigners who occupy the intersection area will die without us needing to do anything. At that time, we should send out an army to encircle and suppress the remaining foreigners." Understood. In this way, we don't have to pay any price and can just sit back and enjoy the fruits of our labor. After the massacre, bring all the knowledge of the evil arts from the foreigner to me. I will distribute them according to how many spoils of war you have. I will give you real knowledge without any side effects, said the Supreme Archmage. Thank you, Archmage. The Supreme Mages retreated. Only the Supreme Archmage was left hanging on the wall, muttering to himself, "Sauron, one day, I will lead the Chaos Legion and fight my way out of this prison. Mages will outlaw wizards and become the true king of spellcasters. And I will kill my way into the astral world and devour the Lord of Chaos, becoming the strongest Chaos Archmage in the multidimensional plane." Time passed quickly. In the blink of an eye, it was the month of winter year 1200. Moreover, the Inferno Dragon breathing technique had also caught up with the progress of the main group some time ago and reached level 16, the 4th transformation of the Blood Source realm. Currently, other than the Nightmare Dragon breathing technique, the rest of the breathing techniques were already at level 16. One more step and he would be on par with a 5th circle wizard at the 5th transformation of the Blood Source realm. In the research room, Levi continuously used his spiritual force to draw out the 3-dimensional spell nodes, conducting simulation tests again and again. There were already 3 crystal balls in front of him. Inside were the blueprints of 3 kinds of wizard tools. The first one was called Extreme Fire Wheel, which was designed based on the Lightning Wheel. It was mainly used to fly and escape, and its speed was extremely fast. Its main materials were level 5 materials like mist sand and molten ore. The molten ore was obtained from Gabriel, and it was not very big. It was suitable to be used to refine a small wizard tool like the light wheel. The second type was called Crimson Dragon's Ring. It was designed based on the circle of Ouroboros and the Ring of Secret Fire and was used for control. The last one was called the Ancient Burning Sky Umbrella. It was designed with reference to the Ancient Thunder Umbrella and had both offense and defense. Extreme Fire Wheel, Crimson Dragon Ring, Ancient Burning Sky Umbrella. These 3 wizard tools added together could be said to be equipped for attack, defense, control, and escape. If the refinement was successful, the Holy Infant clone's strength would definitely be greatly enhanced. It would be a piece of cake for it to deal with a 5th circle senior wizard. Even if Holy Infant was faced with a perfected 5th circle wizard, Holy Infant would be able to retreat calmly. In this way, if Holy Infant didn't provoke a level 6 existence, then he would be able to run amok in Io continent, and he wouldn't need to go out frequently. Of course, he still lacked some materials to craft these wizard tools. Especially the Ancient Burning Sky Umbrella. This wizard tool required the tail feathers and bones of a level 5 fire attribute bird, and a level 5 fire elemental metal to make the umbrella ribs. He also needed the skin of a fire-type mixed blood dragon to make the umbrella cover. Chapter 1271, Black Beast Tide. He did not have these things for the time being, and he could not replace them. However, the 5th floor was vast and rich in resources. Finding it was only a matter of time. In the blink of an eye, a year had passed. Year 1201 of the Holy Brilliance Calendar, the month of flowing fire. Holy Fire Plateau. Skyfire Fortress. The wizards were in the fortress, looking into the distance, ready for battle. Simon floated on the city wall, his ribbon dancing in the wind. According to the intelligence, a few days ago, there were some small intersections that were attacked by the black beasts. Some of the nomadic wizard markets were directly destroyed. This made the 9 cities alliance immediately go into a state of alert. The commander said calmly, "The Black Beast tide has arrived. Everyone, get ready. Protect the Skyfire Fortress at all costs. If you discover a level 6 Black Beast Overlord, withdraw all your forces and immediately report to Lord Roman. A primordial soul wizard will take action." The Holy Fire Plateau was vast and boundless. What the 9 cities alliance occupied was just the tip of the iceberg. In the wilderness, countless black beasts were wandering around. Because black beasts could not be tamed, their will was chaotic, and they were highly corrosive. Even if wizards could defeat them, they would hide far away to avoid wasting their energy. As a result, the number of black beasts had never decreased. Moreover, the Kane Empire had driven the black beasts from all over the world to the intersection, and the black beasts continued to multiply, which eventually led to this beast tide. Now, these black beasts began to attack the headquarters of the various large organizations crazily without any warning. The sky, the earth, birds, and beasts swept over. There was no lack of level 5 black beasts in the Black Beast Army. "Activate the Grand Array," ordered the commander. In the next moment, the high walls around the Skyfire Fortress burst into flames. These flames formed a huge barrier that protected the entire city. "Everyone, rely on the fortress and attack the Black Beast. Simon, if there is a level 5 Black Beast attacking the Grand Array, you are responsible for killing it to prevent the Grand Array from being overexhausted," said the commander. Simon nodded. He was ready. For a moment, the Black Beast's spell-like ability and the wizard's spell collided in the wilderness. It was like splendid fireworks blooming. Some powerful black beasts even broke through the wizard's spell blockade and pounced on the Grand Array, madly charging at it. Then, they would be instantly killed by the wizards. On the city wall, the eyes of the Blood Demon Tower Master flickered. He was paddling to attack the Black Beast while thinking. "I didn't expect that the opening of the ancient tower would be met with the Black Beast tide of the Io continent. The heavens are helping me. During this period of time, the city will be in chaos, and the defense of the Dead Soul Date Tree will be weak. With my strength as a 5th Circle senior wizard, I will immediately leave after snatching it. I will escape to the outer sea region and find a volcanic island to cultivate." During his time in the Skyfire Fortress, the Blood Demon Tower Master realized that this place wasn't as good as he had imagined. "Over here," he was ordered around by Simon. Simon was just a junior, but Simon did not show any respect to the Blood Demon Tower Master just because Simon was recognized by a primordial soul wizard. This made the Blood Demon Tower Master very unhappy. "I'm a dark wizard who does all kinds of evil. How can I endure this grievance?" Even if he didn't snatch the Dead Soul Date Tree, the Blood Demon Tower Master didn't want to stay here anymore. "But now is not the best time. I'll take action when the conflict gets worse." The Blood Demon Tower Master was very patient. He had never made a move. Once he made a move, he was certain that he would win. Quack quack quack. In the sky outside the city, a strange black flame bird emitting a powerful aura rushed toward the Grand Array. The bird's head was bald, revealing its pale white bones. Its bird eyes emitted a terrifying aura. From its appearance, it looked like a crow, but it had long red tail feathers on its back, like clouds. The most unique thing was that there were 2 pale ghost hands on its wings, holding something like a bone staff. A 5th Circle wizard went forward to stop it, but the strange bird spat out blue flames and forced him to retreat. The wizard used all his methods, but he was no match for the strange bird. He could only return to the city dejectedly. After hearing about this, Simon stood up and started spinning the chess piece in his hand. He said, "Let me take a look at this beast." "Sir Simon, it's best to be careful. The flames of this strange bird are a little odd. They actually restrain my combustion spells. I suspect that it's a rare and unusual flame," said the 5th Circle wizard who had escaped. Simon's expression was calm as he said, "Got it. I'll handle it. Don't worry." He flicked his fingers and chess pieces flew out, quickly surrounding the strange bird. The strange bird flapped its wings, and flames swept over as it whistled. "Suppress," Simon said coldly. The 5th Circle array began to exert its power. At the same time, fire beams shot out from his eyes and arrived in an instant. 2 large holes were burned out of the flaming bird's chest. It let out a strange cry and waved the 2 bone staffs on its claws while muttering something. At the same time, a strange blue flame appeared. The array that Simon was so proud of began to tremble after being attacked by the blue flame. Not long after, the array actually collapsed. Simon's expression changed slightly. Interesting. Looks like I have to use my true abilities. He patted his chest, and the image of a fire god appeared. As Simon clenched his fist, the fire god's phantom also clenched its fist. Flame fist. Boom. He threw a punch in the air and a crimson fist shadow shot out. The strange bird used the blue ghost fire to resist and actually managed to block the attack. The Blood Demon Tower Master and even the commander were shocked. They didn't expect the strange bird to be able to fight against Simon. Chapter 1272, Picking Up Trash. Flame Sword. Simon's expression was ugly. The world-extinguishing flame sword appeared in the fire god's hand and slashed at the strange bird. Rumble. This time, the strange bird finally couldn't hold on any longer. The blue flames were broken. It cried out strangely and kept retreating. However, one of its legs was cut off by the sword light. Black blood dripped onto the earth and melted into a deep pit. The strange bird spat out countless corrosive gases. Simon did not dare to take it head-on and quickly dodged. However, he discovered that the strange bird had already fled and was hiding in the Black Beast army. It didn't dare to show itself and was only driving the other Black Beasts to their deaths. This scene was not only happening in the Holy Fire Plateau, but also in the Sea of Stars, the Million Mountains, and other large intersections. However, the wizard organization had all obtained some clues through their own intelligence network. Thus, they had all set arrays in advance. They could basically get through the first wave of Black Beast Tide safely. Dragon Palace Island. Because it was quite far from the intersection, the Black Beast Tide had yet to reach this place. Levi was as steady as a rock here. Half a year had passed. In his spare time, he would further improve his original wizard tool design. Everything was ready. All that was left was the materials and refinement. Currently, Levi's spiritual force has reached 642 points, and the golden snake breathing technique is not far from its limit. After his seclusion, Levi checked the projection in the ancient tower. In one of the projections, he saw Anya's figure. Looking at the scene, it seemed to be in the sky above Deep Blue Wizard City. A giant whale with tens of thousands of tentacles floated in the sky like an island. Those jellyfish-like tentacles kept releasing lightning. Tens of thousands of lightning bolts fell, causing the array of the wizard city to tremble. This is a peak level 5 black beast. Levi's expression changed slightly. Other than a perfected 5th circle wizard, an ordinary 5th circle wizard would not be able to fight against such a black beast. Anya only appeared briefly before disappearing. He was probably overshadowed and the live broadcast only showed the battle between a perfected 5th circle wizard and the giant whale. Thus, Anya was not the main character of this projection. Levi heaved a sigh of relief. I heard from Madame Triss that there were a few times in history when the ancient tower opened and coincidentally bumped into the black beast tide that would only appear after a long time in the ancient tower. In those few times, most of the wizard organizations suffered heavy casualties. This time, the opening time coincided with the black beast tide. For most people, this was definitely bad news. The first thing that came to Levi's mind was that he had found the materials for crafting divine talismans and wizard tools. Of course, the possibility of a large-scale black beast tide appearing in the place he was at was low. After all, this was not the intersection area. However, he could not let his guard down. There were definitely some unknown intersections in the vast sea. At that time, there might be black beasts attacking. Thinking of this, Levi inspected the 8 heavenly dragon prison grand array thoroughly. He summoned all the transcendent creatures and the undead spirit army. All departments, enter a state of alert. There might be a strong enemy coming soon. I'm going to leave for a while. You guys take care of the house. After Levi instructed them, everyone returned to their respective posts and began to be on guard. In the next few days, Levi could confirm through the projection that this was a large-scale black beast tide that swept across Io. It was as severe as the sea beast tide in the endless sea with the black beasts at the peak of level 5 appearing frequently. Levi planned to go to some of the intersections in the south of Io. He was going to pick up the trash. After all, very few people wanted black beast materials. Whether it was creating talismans or forging weapons, he needed high-quality black beast materials. He arrived outside Deep Blue Wizard City. Hermit Rune flickered as he watched from afar. Anya and his teammates were inside the array, casting spells to attack the black beast outside. With Deep Blue Organization's strength, they should be able to withstand the first wave of the black beast tide. Anya's role in the organization is to use long-range precision missiles. He usually attacks within the Grand Array. As long as the Deep Blue organization doesn't fall, he'll be safe, Levi muttered. In the next few days, he mingled on the battlefield and tirelessly picked up trash. He had picked up a lot of level 4 Black Beast materials effortlessly. There was even a level 5 Black Beast material. The giant whale at the peak of level 5 retreated to the deep sea after realizing that it could not take down this place. Levi sighed in pity and left quietly, heading to the next place. A month later, Levi wandered around, mainly picking up trash. Occasionally, he would kill black beasts and collect a large pile of black beast materials. What a pity! There are no fire-type level 5 birds, nor is there the dragon skin I need. Several days later, a vast ocean appeared before his eyes. To be more precise, it was a big lake. On the surface of the lake, there were many islands. In the distance, Levi saw a black two-legged dragon that was spitting flames, circling above the lake. Wherever the flames touched, it was turned into charcoal. A fourth circle wizard force field did not last long before he died on the spot. Black fire dragon, a mixed blood dragon. Looking at its strength, it should be close to the 5th circle senior level. Unfortunately, it's a black beast. This thing can't be tamed using conventional methods. It's not worth it to waste a scarlet contract slot. Let's not dwell on it. Let's just kill it and skin it alive. I can use it to refine the ancient burning sky umbrella. Levi had a regretful expression. He had tried to use his dragon's might to tame the mixed blood dragon race before, but he had failed. It was unrealistic to purify such a giant creature with a purification elixir like the totem insect. Chapter 1273, Fighting Black Fire Dragon. If the ancient Saint Plane were to be filled with Saint Fruit in the future, a Black Beast purification base could be built to purify the valuable Black Beasts and turn them over a new leaf. With that thought in mind, Levi casually changed his appearance into that of a deputy wizard and flew over. Sea of Stars. In the outer seas, a few 4th circle nomadic wizards fled in panic under the Black Fire Dragon's raging flames. Has the Arctic wizard not arrived yet? No, he was stopped by another level 5 Black Beast. The one who is coming over here as support is a newly advanced 5th circle wizard, Biggs. I heard that he is Lord Silverbeard's disciple. That's good. As the disciple of a perfected 5th circle wizard, he should be able to contend with this black beast. The Black Fire Dragon charged forward as if it had entered a no-man's land. A small team of wizards hiding on the island was discovered. The 6 nomadic wizards were like birds frightened by the twang of a bow, they quickly fled. The terrifying dragon breath condensed again, and the high temperature scorched the world. It's over. These people were in despair. A giant hammer condensed from flames charged over and blasted the Black Fire Dragon away. The next moment, a short and stout wizard rushed over. He said calmly, "I'll fight this big guy. You guys can attack from a distance." The nomadic wizards were overjoyed and heaved a sigh of relief. Phew, that's great. Lord Biggs is here. We're saved. We will be in charge of controlling it and creating conditions for Sir Biggs to attack. They no longer ran away but fought alongside Biggs. The Black Fire Dragon shook its head. The spell just now had made it dizzy, but its body was fine. It was only partially charred. It was a fire dragon, so its fire resistance was not low. Flaming Hammer. Biggs continued to use his strongest 4th circle talent. He had just advanced to the 5th circle realm a few years ago and had not even mastered the protective force field, let alone a 5th circle talent. However, he believed that with his own abilities, even if he could not defeat the Black Beast, he would be able to hold it back until the Arctic wizard arrived. Seeing this, the Black Fire Dragon flapped its wings, and a black flame storm swept out, swallowing the giant flame bowl. The giant bowl disappeared completely, but the black flame storm did not slow down. It attacked Biggs. Oh no, why is this black beast so powerful? He had just entered the 5th circle and was overly confident. When he really fought, he realized that he did not seem to be that strong. Boom! His 4th circle protective force field was shattered. Immediately after, his 4th circle defensive talent lit up, and he barely blocked this attack. Everyone, retreat first. I'll cover you. This black beast is quite powerful. I've just entered the 5th circle. I might not be its match. With his 5th circle strength and status, it was very embarrassing to say this. However, for the safety of these nomadic wizards, He had no choice. The expressions of the other nomadic wizards changed. They had thought that this fifth circle wizard would be able to block the black beast. However, they hadn't expected to be forced to retreat after just one exchange. Roar! Seeing that the newcomer's strength was average, the black fire dragon opened its mouth and flames poured out. Biggs cast spells to block the attacks while covering the retreat of the nomadic wizards. The black fire dragon pursued relentlessly. Its wings were completely ignited, and its speed increased. Run! It's over. I'm going to stay here in the ancient tower forever. Hold on a little longer, the Arctic wizard will be here soon. Those who fell behind were instantly devoured by the black fire dragon. In the end, the black fire dragon got closer and closer, and the terrifying dragon breath was brewing again. All the wizards present felt despair. Suddenly, the surface of the lake exploded. The water dragon roared and spiraled into the sky, binding the black fire dragon. The black fire dragon's dragon breath was interrupted and it was immediately silenced. The flames around its body burst the water dragon. High up in the sky, a grey-robed wizard looked at it with an indifferent gaze. The black fire dragon roared in anger, and its dragon wings swept forward with raging flames. You overestimate yourself. Levi sneered. With a wave of his hand, another water dragon flew out and wrapped around the black fire dragon. He had successfully angered the black fire dragon by playing around with it again and again. It had advanced to level 5 a long time ago, and it was a black beast. Its strength was not inferior to a sub-dragon like Ganster. The flying dragon spat out black flames and headed towards Levi. Behind Levi, a pitch-black bronze statue appeared, and the rock demon giant appeared. It broke through the terrifying black flames and pounced on the dragon, smashing its fists into the dragon's flesh. Sir, let me help you. Biggs saw that the black fire dragon was stopped by the grey-robed wizard and wanted to help. No need. Leave this beast to me. You guys should leave, Levi said calmly. All right then. I won't disturb you any further. Be careful, sir. This black beast's strength is extraordinary. Biggs wasn't angry at being rejected. With the other party's strength, he had the right to be arrogant. He led the other nomadic wizards and retreated helplessly. Levi kept controlling the dragon with his water dragon's song, while the rock demon clamped the dragon's head with its legs, giving off a strong heroic aura. In the distance, Biggs and the group of nomadic wizards watched everything in shock. The body of a wizard, punching a flying dragon, is this still human? A nomadic wizard sighed in his heart. That's right, that's so strong. This is a real man, he has the grace of an ancient body-refining wizard. Even Biggs fell silent. The other party's spiritual force was higher than his, but it was not by a lot. However, the combat strength displayed by the other party was much stronger than his. As the dragon's wails gradually died down, it did not take long for the dragon's head to be smashed flat. Levi dismembered the corpse and stored the useful materials in his ring. He didn't pay attention to the nomadic wizards who were watching from afar. Levi directly left the place. Sir, please wait. Biggs' voice rang out. What's the matter? Levi turned around and asked with a frown. Sir, you must be a nomadic wizard. So what? I am Biggs from the White Robe Wizard Association. I would like to take the liberty of inviting you to join us. We will face the Black Beast tied together and also fight against those top-notch wizard organizations that are oppressing us. Not interested. Levi turned around and left. Sir, this is the introduction of our organization and my contact information. You can take a look. If you're interested, you may contact me at any time. A slate flew over and floated in the air. Levi thought for a moment, then told the rock demon to put it away and leave. Chapter 1274, White Robe Wizard Association's Manual. Sea of Stars. Biggs and the group of wizards stood where they were, watching the grey-robed wizard disappear. How arrogant he didn't show any respect to Lord Biggs' polite invitation, said a wizard. With his strength, he doesn't need to join any organization. As long as he's careful, he'll be able to do well in Io continent, said another wizard. Let's go back, Biggs sighed. On the way back, he met the Arctic wizard. Have you dealt with the Black Beast? Arctic wizard asked apologetically. Biggs replied, thank you for coming, sir. It's been resolved. The Arctic wizard was shocked. He could not help but praise Biggs. Sir Biggs is indeed Silverbeard's disciple. You have just entered the 5th circle, but you can already defeat a level 5 black beast. It's indeed the world of the young. Biggs shook his head and smiled bitterly. He said, "You flatter me." When I rushed over, the black beast had already been taken care of by a wandering wizard who passed by. After hearing that, Arctic Wizard said, "I heard that the black beast is a mixed blood dragon. With the constitution of the dragon clan and the brutal personality of the black beast, he must be a 5th circle senior wizard to be able to deal with it so quickly." Biggs said, "Judging from his spiritual force, he shouldn't have reached the standard of a 5th circle senior, but he's indeed much stronger than me. As for his innate spells, he should be focusing on body refinement and then cultivating the spells of the ocean school of thought." He did not reveal much of his other abilities, so there was no way to determine if he was a 5th circle senior wizard. However, I've already sent him an invitation. As for whether he wants to join or not, it's up to him. Several days later, the first wave of black beast tide in the Sea of Stars gradually faded. The 5 white-robed elders and the other 5th circle wizards gathered on Gondif Island. When they heard from Biggs that a powerful body-refining wizard had passed by, killed a black beast, and saved a group of secret practitioners, the magical lady hurriedly asked, "From your description, that black beast should be a black fire dragon. It should be the strongest of the mixed blood dragon clan. If it doesn't die prematurely, it has the chance to become a peak level 5 black beast. It seems that this nomadic wizard is quite powerful. Did you send him an invitation?" Biggs replied, "I invited him, but he refused on the spot. I gave him the organization manual. He should be the kind of nomadic wizard who is used to freedom. He has a lot of concerns and has a temperament that keeps strangers away. He's just a 5th circle senior wizard. He sure knows how to put on airs. It's up to him whether he wants to come or not," Wizard Farrell said coldly. Although he was a member of the Fire Bull family, he didn't want to join the 9 Cities Alliance, so he was here. As the saying goes, it was better to be a big fish in a small pond than a small fish in a big pond. Here, he was the high and mighty 5 elders. In the 9 Cities Alliance, his status would definitely not be as high as here. Redbone Wizard said, "It's not up to us to decide whether he will come or not. There's no need to mention this again. This is only the first wave of the Black Beast Tide. We should take advantage of the gap between the tides and invite as many 5th circle wizards as possible. This way, it will be easier to pass through the Black Beast Tides." They left the Sea of Stars. Levi continued to fly towards some of the larger intersections. After killing this black fire dragon, he only needed the bones and tail feathers of a level 5 fire bird to start refining the ancient Burning Sky umbrella. He planned to go to the Holy Fire Plateau in the south to try his luck. On the way, he casually browsed through the White Robe Wizard Association's handbook. Suddenly, a familiar name entered his eyes. His expression was strange as he muttered, "Gondef? Isn't this my avatar?" After reading the manual, Levi didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Back then, he only wanted to prevent himself from being recognized by Anya. In addition to his bad taste, he changed into Gondifa's identity and saved a group of nomadic wizards. Who would have thought that a few years later his unintentional action was remembered by so many nomadic wizards? They even used his Gondif name to establish a so-called White Robe Wizard Association. "You're using my alias name casually and not giving me money for it," Levi ridiculed. Saving the poor and saving the suffering, the heart of a ranger, not afraid of power, the light of a nomadic wizard. This comment is quite fair. As he walked, Levi pondered. Originally, he did not have any thoughts of joining the White Robe Wizard Association, but now he suddenly had a new idea. I can let the Holy Infant join them. After all, with so many nomadic wizards, it's a complicated intelligence network. With the Holy Infant's status, he can become a high-ranking member of the Wizard Association. This way, whether it's searching for clues about the Holy Grail of immortality or exchanging resources with other wizards to refine wizard tools and alchemical creatures, it can save me a lot of time. Levi did not plan to let his main body join them. His main body still had to guard Dragon Palace Island. Moreover, from the manual, 2 of the 5 white-robed elders were his former enemies. Farah, Redbone. Tisk, 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 I'll let you be proud for a while. When my strength improves, I'll be able to take revenge for what happened back then. A month later, Levi wandered around many small intersections and picked up a bunch of level 4 and level 5 Black Beast materials for free. Unfortunately, the level 5 fire element bird he needed had never been found. In the south of the Io continent, there are only two places that are most likely to have this kind of bird, the Million Mountains and the Holy Fire Plateau. Relatively speaking, the Holy Fire Plateau is easier to find, but we have to be careful of the people from the Nine Cities Alliance. Chapter 1275, Stolen Dead Soul Date Tree. After analyzing the pros and cons, Levi headed to the Holy Fire Plateau. He didn't give up on the Million Mountains either. He asked Mind Flayers to mobilize some people to help him search. This way, he could do it at the same time and it would be more efficient. Holy Fire Plateau. The first wave of the Black Beast tide had already passed. With this fortress city, unless a level 6 Black Beast came out, it would be difficult to shake the layers of defense of the Nine Cities Alliance. The ground was littered with the corpses of Black Beasts. Wizards from the Burning School of Thought were using spells to burn these corpses to prevent them from polluting the elemental power nearby. If Levi was here, he would definitely curse at them for wasting these treasures. Suddenly, another group of Black Beasts attacked from the horizon in the distance. This number seemed to be even greater than before. Quickly inform the commander that the second Black Beast tide is coming. The wizards quickly retreated into the city. The price to pay for occupying such a large intersection was to face an even larger Black Beast tide. Not only that, but this time, among the Black Beast army, a mountain-like black goat was sweeping tens of thousands of black fog and tentacles towards the giant city. This is a Black Beast Lord. Tell the city lord directly. Only a level 6 existence can fight against this monster. For a moment, the entire Nine Cities Alliance entered an unprecedented state of alert. One by one, the wizards quickly returned to their posts. When the Blood Demon Tower Master saw the black goat, his expression was heavy, but his heart was filled with ecstasy. The opportunity has come. Ha ha ha, this way Wizard Roman, who is the biggest threat to me, will also be restrained. Next, I'll seize the Dead Soul Date Tree without any risk. On the other side, Simon frowned and looked into the distance. A bald wizard wearing a flaming robe appeared behind him. His face was calm, and he had a dignified temperament. His vast spiritual force made Simon feel as if he was facing an abyss. I'll deal with the Black Mountain Goat. Simon, you go protect the Grand Array and the fortress. Yes, Lord Roman, Simon replied respectfully. In front of a level 6 powerhouse, a dazzling figure like Simon was nothing but a weed on the side of the road. A huge shadow of a flaming snake appeared behind Lord Roman. It was hundreds of meters long and coiled in the air. It stuck out its tongue and looked at the Black Mountain Goat. Primordial Soul Wizard Form, Dance of the Fierce Snake. The giant flaming snake flew out and fought with the Black Mountain Goat. Boom! The terrifying shockwave scattered all the surrounding black beasts. In the sky, countless tentacles fell from the Black Mountain Goat's body. It was like a black forest, surrounding Roman. Roman's flaming snake spat out flames and turned the black forest into ashes. This was a true showdown between the strong, and Simon's blood boiled as he watched. Suddenly, he noticed that the black flame bird that had embarrassed him in front of everyone during the Black Beast tide had appeared again and was attacking the Grand Array. This time, you can't escape. His streamer stretched out and wrapped around the strange bird. This unremarkable streamer was also a wizard tool. Boom! Caught off guard, the strange bird was bounded by the red ribbon and could not break free. Even a 5th Circle senior wouldn't be able to escape my dragon binding belt, let alone a beast like you. This dragon binding belt was a 5th Circle top-grade wizard tool, one of the most important wizard tools on Simon. A great battle erupted. After an unknown period, on the Primordial Soul battlefield. What a troublesome monster! I can only use my soul artifact. Roman wizard form's giant snake suddenly spat out a mirror. This mirror was ordinary. It looked like a magnifying glass with a bulge in the middle. To die under my Sky Strike flame mirror, it's worth it for a monster like you to make a trip in this world. Roman waved his hand, and countless fire elements within a 10-mile radius gathered toward the mirror. In the sky, it formed a huge funnel-shaped cannon barrel. From one side of the cannon barrel, a ray of light shot out like a golden needle. This attack tore through the void and arrived in an instant. The body of the Black Mountain Goat was split into two. Immediately after, thousands of rays formed a huge net and enveloped him. The Black Mountain Goat's countless tentacles were all cut into pieces and exploded. The terrifying shockwave sent Roman into the void and he teleported back to the fortress. Most of the minced meat was destroyed by the Sky Strike flame mirror. A small portion of the minced meat actually grew strange wings and flew away. What the hell is this? Roman tried to keep the minced meat, but it was too late. After this battle, even if it survives, it won't pose a threat to Skyfire Fortress, he muttered to himself. On the other side, seeing that its boss had exploded, the strange bird also used all its strength to break free from Simon's restraint. It caught and flew away. This time, I'll kill you. Simon was furious. He was a dignified dragon slayer. How could he let the strange bird escape twice in a row? He was about to give chase when a fourth circle wizard called out to him. The fourth circle wizard said fearfully, Master Simon, the dead soul date tree is missing. The Fire Crocodile City Master took advantage of the chaos to steal the treasure and left Skyfire City. What? You useless trash can't even look after a tree properly. Simon grabbed the wizard, his eyes blazing with fire. He calmed down and threw this person to the side. Simon asked for the direction that the Fire Crocodile City Master had left in and chased after him. The direction that Simon was heading towards was the Million Mountains. The eyes of the wizard who came to report the news flashed with a barely noticeable blood-red light. Several days later,